Yep. Oh boy. Oh boy, man. It's Friday. That's right. That's right. 3-day weekend. We all followed the instructions, right? To take the weekend off and Friday as well. We're all gonna play D&D and Baldur's Gate and shit, right? Wait, did I miss the memo? Did I not send it out? Shit, maybe I fucked that up. Well, I certainly hope nobody's at work. Good morning, Ashy. What's up, bro? Good morning, Raven. Good morning, Sabine. Good morning, Saffron. Good to see you guys. Ashy, It is time soon, right? It is time soon. I'm anticipating the dramatic return of the monarch of the Kingdom of Heart. You only have a one-day weekend? What the fuck, Sabine?
Visitors, how exciting.
Why, bro? Dude, geez, Say, what's up, Say? How's it going? Good morning, Say. How you doing, bro? What's up? What's good? What's cracking? Say, did you try out some Diablo 2 yet? Did you try some Warlock class out? I've tried a little bit of it out. I'm messing around. I'm enjoying it. All right? Lexer, dude. Bro. The bit goal has been made. The orb is officially rank 10. Oh, we got to put a pin that. We got to talk about that. Okay, come on. Like, this is a big deal. This is the 10th rank orb. Oh my God. Lexer, thanks for the bits, dude. How's it going? Good to see you. Taxes ramping. I'm working on a 55-hour week this week. Oh, so you could just delegate. Yeah. Yeah, you could just tell somebody else to do it then, right? Isn't that how it works? Pretty sure. I looked it up once. You're too busy writing your novel. Oh, okay, all right. Were you doing any writing on stream today? I've never really enjoyed writing on stream. Say, I've always I don't know. I find myself way too focused when I'm writing. So I don't know, bro. But thanks for the raid. If you guys aren't following Say, please go follow Say. Say is my general morning streamer before I go live. Not today. Today I was taking care of Ella because, oh my God, we had quite the endeavor yesterday. I'd end stream early because I had to go take Ella to the hospital because she was feeling real not good. And did you know that when you are past 12 weeks pregnant, that when you go to the hospital for any reason, they just send you straight to labor and delivery to make sure you're all good? Bro, I have never had such efficiency and care taken at a hospital. It was fucking amazing. No waiting, just, hey, wheel her on in, get a bed, what's up, what's going on, need some Jello or some cookies or whatever, here you go. It was nice. So that was all good. She's fine, but just not feeling all that well. So yeah, man. Yes, it is the 10th level orb. Wait, this is you delegating. You've spent 55 hours a week delegating? Bro, if I had to spend 55 hours a week delegating, fucking get overtime, I guess, you know? So do you set up like a pyramid scheme with your delegates where you get paid for the work they do and they get paid for the work that they delegate? That's how it should work, I think. You should get a certain percentage of their hours. They're not taking any chances with premature baby scare. Yeah, so she hurt her back real bad. Real bad, like wheelchair bad. So I had to wheel her on up to the hospital, drive her to the emergency, whatever. And she's all good. I mean, she's in a lot of pain right now, but she's just chilling. But yeah, man, they just they take you up there and they make you sit there and listen to baby and whatnot. And it is interesting though, because that is where we'll be going, I guess, that hospital, because it's on our end of the city, driving into town. So it was interesting. It was a time. I'm glad we weren't there for that long, you know. And hey, Canadian healthcare. We just walked in and walked out, I guess. You know, I guess that's a good piece of that. Oh, she feels better soon. Me too, Say. It is funny though, because she is now out of commission, and this week I'm gonna have to do literally everything with moving our house around by myself. I was gonna do most of it anyway, but she was gonna do some little stuff that she could. So now I'm gonna have like a big marathon weekend. It's gonna be like a My Hero Academia training arc for me this weekend. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to impressing myself, but I'm not looking forward to the amount of work and stress it's going to be. So the double-edged sword. But I have Diablo for when I'm ready to rest, ready to chill. I have Diablo. I have Pokemon Legends Arceus. I started that last night. That's fun. Didn't get any work done yesterday though. Didn't get any work done. I was gonna get part of Brooklyn's character finished, and I was gonna show up to stream today and be like, wow, look, it's done. But that didn't happen. So don't tell Brooklyn. Don't tell her. She can't know. Disagreement clients giving me their info So that's half the time, then delegate, then review what they gave back to me and yell at them if it's wrong, repeat ad nauseum. So why don't you just get the government to tell you how much you need to pay, how much everybody needs to pay, and then you just tell them how much that is. And then they just write a check. Yeah, this seems overcomplicated, man. I don't know about this shit. Q anime epic anime training montage music. It's going to be, honestly. It's going to be, I have to move every last thing that is on the floor upstairs, downstairs. It's going to be intense. Furniture, I have to take it all apart myself and put it back together downstairs or whatever. So, oh, I'm not looking forward to this. What to be jaw farming, bro? Well, I got like a burr. I got a burr. And I got some Istaroons, so we could probably trade up for a jaw. And then we could make an Enigma. We can put a mate, either an Archon plate or a Dusk Shroud together Enigma, and then we could play Telly Bale runs. We could do that instead of just running the Countess for mid runes for the entirety of the day. Ulner, I'm enjoying the Warlock. It is so funny that, okay, so you, Ulner, were on your date night with Vixie. That was a fun stream. That was good. And I was memeing about our lore, about how we spend weeknights till 3 a.m. chain smoking and playing Diablo 2 as 45-year-old balding men with our shirts tucked in and Slavic tracksuits on. And as I was saying that, as I was memeing hard, Ulner, I see Diablo goes live on Twitch with their 30th anniversary announcement. And literally 5 to 10 minutes after I dropped the meme for the 15th time, they announce a new class for Diablo 2 Resurrected. Like, what the hell, man?
How exciting.
The fucking timing, bro. I couldn't handle it, bro. Yo, Fluthrar, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Hello, what's going on, guys? Good morning, good morning. What's up? The Froggy Raid is time. Welcome to the pond, my friends. How you doing? How was stream? What'd you get up to? Tell me your tales while we complain about Diablo 2 and Critical Role fan art. Good morning, Faye. What's up? Evan, Sir, Mr. Blair, Evan, Sir Art. Please check your DMs if important. Evan, give me attention. Yes, of course. Ashlyn of Artoria. I will give. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Is this Ulner begging for more fan art? Is this Ulner subtweeting at me because she started with I ... There's an I in my okay, all right. Prepping every birthday sub for prepping for birthday subathon when I return to streaming this month. What's everyone's thoughts? Birthday sub goal, 30 grade. I leak my AO3 account. Oh my god. Will you get banned if you leak your AO3 account? 100 subs. I post my Naruto fanfic. Well, doesn't that happen with the AO3 account? And 200 I commission Ulner to draw furry Naruto art. God, this ruined my day. This ruined my day, bro. I was sitting here thinking about Age of Empires and Diablo and shit. You had to ruin my day, man. What the fuck, bro? Streams Productive tried into the breach and then drew a nice stack of frogs in pencil on the first page of a brand new sketchbook. New sketchbook reveal. Wait. That's actually sick, dude. Guys, if you're following Flothar, please go follow Flothar if you are into your daily froggenings. It's a good time over there. It's a good time all the time anyway, but you know, apparently today was particularly exciting. So that sounds dope, dude. New sketchbooks are always kind of exciting. I feel like it's like a new opportunity to not be a shitty artist. You know what I mean? She asked nicely, I can't say no. So you commission Ulner for this. How much are you compensating Ulner for her art? Because this seems like it could be a you know, a exploitation of the good nature of Brother Ulnar to get like is this like a getting paid in exposure kind of thing that we can talk about, or is this like, you know, Ulnar was also a necromancer. Ulnar is a necromancer. Yes. I drew Ulnar at one point in time. You know, Ulnar has the most views of any piece of art that I've ever done. Did you know that? The videos that I've done, that I did for the process videos for the piece I did for Ulnar, or of Ulnar, have over 1 million views across Instagram and TikTok. Over 1 million views. Yep. So it is funny and kind of ironic that my most loved, or not loved, but most seen piece of art is Brother Ulnar the Necromancer. So yeah, man, that's Ulnar. Apparently also a Herodrum. To which Ulnar would be very excited to find out that there is a new rune word. That's right, or a new set. Sorry, there's a new set in the new Diablo 2 update, and it is in fact Horizon's set. That's right. Just like Lysander said, Horizon's journal. Oh, journal. And I thought that's funny for 25 years. So, the Necromancer. Yeah. Cool art. Thanks, dude. Like your makeup? That is, listen, that is Ulnar in chat in my style. I'm actually going to get back to returning to my VTuber fan art series, and I'm going to restart it. I'm going to restart it from the top, and I'm going to do them all as portraits that all sort of like match up together in the sketch style, not in color, because I do think the necromancers have a very unique color palette, and so it is important for VTubers to have color applied to their designs. But I think that I'm gonna restart it with doing little cards of all my VTuber friends first, and then moving on to doing like, maybe if I can do like one a week, just like a cool portrait or whatever, that'd be kind of fun. So I think the first one that I need to do to restart the series is probably Ashy, who's the first friend that let me draw and ruin her design by giving her shitty art of shitty art of mine. So, you know, today on Fan Art Friday, though, we're doing Critical Role. Unfortunately, no VTubers today, no VTuberesses today. Today is going to be a very important Critical Role fan art day where I finally draw a man. That's right, not a lion man. I already did a lion man. Wait, where's the lion man? There's the lion man. So Ulnar, if you do need a reference for furry Naruto art, you can just I can give you this file, and you can just do like a coloring book style coloring of this piece, where you color it in the traditional garb of the Leaf Village. So, you know, if you need my help, just let me know. I'm here for you. So, did I see your witches? I did not see your witches. Where are your witches? When did you paint witches? Wait, there's witches? What? She agreed to do it for offered her anything. So technically she's doing it for exposure. I shouldn't say anything about that actually, because never mind. I'm not gonna yeah. Man, people get paid in exposure a lot in the internet, don't they? It's crazy. Discord. Okay, wait, there's witches? Let me see. DMs, I assume. Did the last one on the stream today. Wait, these are witches. Wait, what are these? These aren't witches. These aren't fucking witches. You lied to me, Say. What do you mean witches? These are all handsome and attractive characters. I don't see a single witch in here, bro. They're your witches? These aren't witches. Come on, man. I've seen Harry Potter. I know what a witch looks like. That's a Pokemon gym leader. These are all Pokemon gym leaders. Don't fuck with me here. Try and tell me they're witches. Witches aren't that. This guy is like an AMV character from 2007. What do you mean, dog? What the fuck do you mean? These are really cool, actually. I like these designs. I like them. These are cool, man. I like the flat coloration that you're working in. These are like really, is this fucking miniful? These are cool. I really like these kind of like, so you get these with a lot of like game design stuff, like kind of concept process pipelines, the like flat color kind of like character designs. I really like these. Like I really like the selection of colors in them. That's pretty cool, man. Good job, bro. These are sick. These are cool. One day I'll learn to draw and I'll be a real artist, and you guys can't stop me. No one will stop me. I'll be a real artist, and you'll all know about it. Ash, you'll know about it first because I'll complain to her. Thank God you're here. I had absolutely no idea how to draw furries. Yeah. I do think it'd be funny to do, like, for my VTuber fan art series, to do like a I don't know, like a roll, like a spin the wheel, roll the die kind of thing. So if I do you know, if I do actually draw one of my friends as a you know, their VTuber design, I have to roll for like what art style, if it's gonna be anime or like my kind of like style or more comic booky or whatever, or ultimately if you just hit the furry, and then I just have to draw, you know, Vixie as a non-furry. That would upset Vixie if I drew her as anything but a furry. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should just make sure I'm accommodating my friends and their weird trauma. Anyway, so today we are going to be drawing one of the very important characters. So we have done thus farly we have done Tyranny, though I need to do Tyranny again because I did Tyranny before. I decided to do them a little bit larger in a certain style. So Tyranny was the first one, but I need to redo her. And then we drew Valus, and this is where I decided that I was going to do more of like a large format type thing. So then we did Valus. So we have Valus done, and then we did Azune. That's right. We did Rune Shaper, Keeper, Magic Tech, Finder, Azune. Then we did Taylor Pridesire. And after Master Pridesire, we drew Cadigan Vale. That's right, a man's. And after Cadigan Vale was done, we drew Thimble. Look at that, man. Look at that. Little fairy, bro. That's kind of nice. We have the entire soldiers table minus Wikander. Today, because the soldiers table is no more, it is old news, forgotten, destroyed, no longer in circulation. We are drawing the Seeker's table. That's the right one. So today we're gonna draw Octus. We're gonna draw Octus Taconis, our little guy. Our that's our reference. I did a little sketch this morning before I got the dog out and everything, so I had a chance to walk away from it for an hour or two and not look at it. So I'll be drawing Octus today, and we're gonna start to finish this one shot, one video, one full recording, start to finish, no interruptions, will not be distracted, no orb memeing today, although we will discuss Lexer's completion of rank 10 orb and that which comes along with it. Actually, what comes along with rank 10 orb? Hold on. What the fuck? What actually is rank 10? Let me just refresh my memory. Rank 10 is canonized unit. Oh, fuck. Oh, God damn it. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Damn it. Well, I guess we have 95 hours and 58 minutes of streams to draw Yuna. So, that says rank 1. So it was a while ago. No, it says rank 1, and then the bracket that is the closed bracket that is the 10. Yeah. You'll notice that most of these like aren't. Yeah, don't overthink it. You'll be okay. We will have to be style options from Madoka Magica to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Those are both anime, so it's the same thing. Did I miss something to make the Soldiers Table go away? I haven't been watching at all, but I was like, what do you mean it's gone? No, so the way the new show is going, or like is formatted, is they bounce between different groups. So they do the soldiers table for a little adventure, then they do the seekers table for a little adventure, and they do the whatever the last fucking one is for a little adventure, and then they will weave it in, and like they already talked about the formatting for it like that. So the soldiers table is like the first arc of their story is complete. So if you've been watching at the beginning of Critical Role, they've done this little, like, they do a little visit to one of the other groups just for a little, like, kind of reminder, of what they're doing. And so now they're doing that with the soldiers table because they finished their first thing. So that's that they're done. They're out. They're gone. No more soldiers table for the rest of Critical Role campaign 7. But I'm actually enjoying the series right now. I really wanted to stay, like, up to date with the most recent season of Critical Role, and I definitely tried to last time and didn't. I tried really hard to last time and definitely fucking didn't. So this time around, this time's gonna be different. This time I am going to be on point. I'm gonna be ready to go. I'm gonna be watching weekly as much as I can, and I have been, actually. I've been pretty good about it. So yeah, being sick for a couple months or for a couple weeks gave me a lot of time to chill out, It was your affiliate anniversary today. What technically more? Oh shit, you did your anniversary stream. Congratulations, say. How many years have you been affiliated for? I think in May I have my 6th year coming up. Jesus, dude. I've been streaming for too long. All right, let me start the recording process. Boom, done. I have to, like, look behind my tablet to see the button to hit. So today, Octus Taconis. That is way too long, Faye. I know. I should really pack it up. I should pack it up. Unk needs a real job and a real life. Definitely shouldn't be. Yeah. It has been real. It's been a whole thing. Maybe I should what I should do, Faye, is I should just revert to taking the entirety of your pre-D&D streaming career and just make that my brand. Just fucking Graveyard Keeper and Nancy Drew, right? Holy dog. That's what I should do, I think. Just fucking retire, right? Just chill out, man. Play some D&D. Oh yeah, dude. All right, I gotta finish this. I didn't really finish the design this morning because I was busy taking care of Ella. She's injured, sick, whatever, not good. So I gotta finish the design before we get into it. So we're a little bit behind from where I usually like to be when I start recordings in the morning. But my goal today is to see if we can start to finish this. I've gotten really efficient with portraiture in the last couple of weeks. Like, when I say that this big fancy super scary NDA project I did was 21 character portraits, I mean 21 fucking character portraits. So yeah, I'm like ready to go. I'm like ready to rip. It's time. We're not gonna mess this one up this time, okay? One and done. I don't care how long it takes me. It'll be live for the next 8 hours. We're not ending stream until Octus Taconis is done. Do what you won't? Well, little do you know, on my alt channel, I've been doing it for 6 years. You only know my main channel. That's right. My alt channel where I actually enjoy myself playing games. Holy, if they ever got wind of it. Yep. 5 years, but I've only been consistent for 1. Really? That's okay. That's okay. You got other stuff going on. You got other stuff to do. You've been really focused for the last little while, though. Depression killed me through the pandemic and the undiagnosed ADHD. Are you sure you have undiagnosed ADHD and not just that you're TikTok brain rotted? Are you sure? All right, I'll believe you. I'll believe you for now, but we all know that if you line up 10 people that say they have undiagnosed ADHD, 8 of them are just addicted to their phones. 8 of them just play too much League of Legends and eat too much Starburst. No, it's got to be tough, man. It's really hard trying to like figure out how you need to like, you know, be consistent and practice and whatever. It's tough, man. It's like it feels so good when you like finally start getting into the groove of it. So I'm glad that you've like been streaming and making art and chilling. It's been fun to watch you grow, say. You don't even have TikTok? Damn, bro. I truly believe the man who has barely been able to maintain a streaming schedule on one channel has managed to secret 6 years on another. What do you mean? Like, true, but you don't have to say it out loud. Come on, bro. You have no idea how many subs I have on Project Evangeline. You have no idea how much money I make on Only Nyans. Come on, bro. In fairness, you don't need TikTok to have TikTok. That's true. YouTube Shorts or compilation videos still eat your brain alive. They do. They absolutely fucking destroy your ability to focus. I had to like really go deep into the tank a couple years ago and like try and figure out why I was having so much trouble focusing and why I was having trouble like maintaining, you know, schedules and stuff like that and like fight those demons. Focus has always been a really difficult thing for me. I don't have ADD or anything like that, but maintaining focus has been like a big struggle. So I get it, man. I get it. You got to really like take care of your psychological input hygiene as it is, you know, as well as much as you take care of the food that enters your body, you got to take care of the information that enters your mind too. And I definitely wasn't for a long time. So it's like with having not had Vine, never used it, didn't touch, but I still watch Vine compilations. That's true. That's true. I guess, yeah. Yeah, fair enough, man. Well, anything short form is really bad for you. You know, we already know that, but it's just everywhere, right? Ironically, there was a huge study recently that showed how much short form content specifically literally makes your brain shittier. Yeah, there's like I've been very interested in this topic and this idea for a number of years now. And basically every single time anyone chooses to throw any money at it, it just keeps coming back worse and worse and worse, you know? Like, I'm definitely a little nervous with us having a little guy soon, making sure that he grows up like without any of the bad influence. I don't want an iPad kid, man. I see iPad kids all the time, and I get it. Parents are tired and shit. They just want to throw their kid at an iPad. But I don't want to be like that, man. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to let him down like that and build the bad habits. Ruin his attention span with fucking Coco Melon and Miss Rachel. Holy, I've had to do so much research into fucking kids media over the last year, or well, I guess somewhere like 6 months, but good God. Are you gonna start posting 7-second live streams for viewer retention, Evan? Yeah, that's right. Well, like I do, so my TikTok and YouTube and Instagram do pretty well. Like I do make short form videos. I didn't start doing it for like to make like TikToks or whatever. I started doing it for recording my own process. And honestly, like they're like I'm contributing to part of the problem, I think, because I post Instagram shorts, YouTube video shorts, and or Instagram Reels, YouTube shorts, and TikToks for process videos. So yeah, man, I have to like know the platform in and out. But I like certain parts of like certain short form things. So short form isn't bad if I think you are intentionally going for it. So I follow artists, I follow people that do short form videos, but I try and make sure that I'm never scrolling that much. Like I'll scroll a little bit to see what's up, see what kind of things are going on in the art world or whatever. Try and like, you know, help the algorithm along for myself. But yeah, man, it's dangerous. You get on that shit and then you start flicking up on the screen and you realize 10 minutes passed and you're like, what the fuck? Where was I? It impacts your short-term memory effectiveness by like nearly 50%, I think. That sounds like, yeah, that sounds awful. Oh God. It is bad. Like when I'm streaming or sorry, when I'm making art, working, doing whatever, I try and watch or listen to or consume the longest form sort of like media I can. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of streams. Things like Critical Role are good for that. But even like 10 or 15-minute YouTube videos, I find that there's a very good chance if I start like trying to like occupy my work time with shorter YouTube videos, excuse me, that I'll be more distracted trying to find the next video to watch than actually working. So playlists, podcasts, live streams, anything like that that I can just throw on and just, you know, like I watched, I was chilling in a couple of your streams over the last little week or so, Faye, because I was, you know, just working or whatever. I was watching Say in the morning. There's something about it, about just not like giving your brain the ability to know that like this is what you're doing, you're chilling, we're gonna be here for a while, you don't need to find another video, you need to like skip the song, just like less interactability with the media, and you just kind of like chill, man. It's been good. I've been trying really hard to get better at it. Speaking of my buddy who's in his 20s had a kid with his wife, and instead of having their kid watch Cocomelon stuff, they had a kid watch shows like Bob's Burgers because they can't stand the Cocomelon brain rot. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of stuff that we'll do is probably like older Disney stuff, and like, you know, there's a lot of good stuff out there for kids that like is okay for them to watch. But also like toys and stuff. Like people buy us toys, and I'm like, I'm not giving this to our kid. I'm not giving this to our kid. I'm not letting our kid fuck around with this. Like, appreciate it, but I don't want our little guy messing around with his there's like a because like who the fuck is on parent TikTok? There's this guy who does basically these experiments with his kid. He's got this cute little girl that he does these like attention experiments with, where he'll take a video of her watching. He'll be like, we're gonna try out whatever thing today, like whatever kids show, and he'll put it on the TV, and he'll see how entranced she is. So he'll like have her watch it for a half hour or so and see if she's like still playing with other toys, and if she's like attentive to him when he like calls to her. She's like a little toddler or whatever. Or sometimes he'll put something on like that, and they'll just stare at the TV, and like he'll like be like snapping his fingers and trying to get her attention. She's just just completely entranced by the TV, and it's like, that's bad, you know. So it's been funny to watch and like make a little mental note of what is okay for kids to watch and what is really not for little ones and babies and stuff. Because you're not going to avoid it, but you can definitely try and make it better. Not only on kids, but also ourselves. Like, we have to be very disciplined for our own media consumption, which is scary, man. You know, it's scary. It's just always out there. There's always something interesting to watch or do or play or whatever. TikTok won't even let me follow people using the web app. Always just never registers the follow. What? Yeah, that's, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, well, that's weird. That's weird. Our generation grew up with Family Guy and Simpsons. Yeah, it's insane. Just 30 minutes of scrolling to be impacted for literal hours. You know, like, one of my worst habits that I had to like kick in the last maybe like year or so was getting on my phone and checking, because like when I was posting videos every day, I'd wake up and I'd post a video before bed, right? So I'd wake up and I would go to Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and I'd see how the video performed overnight, right? Because it's fun. It's exciting to see how your video did. And then you're on the thing and you're like, oh, cool. And you go to your friends section to see what people that you follow have posted. And then you like, you know, scroll through the followed videos, and then it automatically puts you into like the general sort of like like algorithm. And sometimes I'd look up and realize that I've been sitting in bed on my phone looking at stupid shit I don't care about for like 15, 20 minutes before I even start my day. And I definitely feel my ability to focus on days like that diminished. Like I haven't been for the last couple of weeks because I've been just like sick and shit, but I'm back in the like routine mode. I am so protective and strict with my morning routine. It's like awaken, gym, you know, no watching videos or anything, just like listening to music at the gym. That's it. Just keep preserving that dopamine circuitry and pathway as much as I can, and not letting my attention get nuked for the day. Otherwise, yeah, I'm screwed, man. Trying to have a very low carb, low glucose breakfast. You know, get some sun in, an electrolyte early in the morning. I'm fucking optimized and ready to go, dude. say something if you're there, but I don't like saying hey and then like going like deep into work, and then if somebody says something to me in chat or like somebody adds me or whatever, like another chatter, that I just like miss it. I feel really bad. That's happened before, and I always feel like really guilty. You know, I'll say hey or whatever, then somebody will add me in chat, but I'm just listening to stream and I won't like be watching for chat or anything like that, and they'll think that I'm just ignoring them or blowing them off or whatever. It feels bad, dude. I don't like to say something in stream unless I can like, you know, say what's up or whatever. The Carl the Carl Sagan Cosmos series. Yeah. I want to show him like when he's like a little bit older and can actually like perceive the media. I want to get him on like older sci-fi, you know, Star Trek and Stargate and shit like that. That was good to grow up with. Real to struggle. I'm so easily taken by that shit. 100%, man. It's like the most interesting thing I heard somebody talk about the neuroscience behind it was somebody say that you basically if you like you are outgunned by social media, that there are people who are going to school for, you know, a decade and a half to learn the in and outs of like, you know, neurobiology and neuroscience, psychology, and that entire field that's all connected. They're going to school for all that time, and instead of going and using that like sort of for good and like, you know, becoming a doctor of some variety or whatever, or a researcher and trying to help people, they'll go into the private industry and go work for gambling companies or social media or marketing or whatever, because they're basically learning how to manipulate your brain in the most pernicious way. So it's like trying to interact with it, you've already lost. Trying to interact with it responsibly, you've already lost. And I definitely feel that, because that's exactly what I try and do. I try and interact with it responsibly because I post videos and I need to kind of know what's going on. But man, it's a struggle. And it's not like, oh, you're so weak, you just watch TikTok and gamble and whatever all the time, whatever your vice is, man. You're outgunned, dog. You're outgunned. It's not your fault. It's not you being weak. But it is a thing where you have to choose not to engage, I think. The rhetorical you, not like specifically. If you like sitting on your phone scrolling TikTok before bed and relaxes you, like whatever, dog, I don't care. But like the rhetorical you, the royal we, the profound me. All right, how octosy does this look? Does he look gaunt enough? Does he look sickly enough? I'm gonna really have to like put those dark circles and shit and suck those cheeks in. Make him look like he's an undead necromancer. Wait! Of course I draw the necromancer today. And that's the day that Olner shows up in my stream in the morning when I go live. She inspired me. So I'm going to teach my kids when I have my own one that's more important than anything, not to binge watch. Yeah? I'll show my kids Star Trek, but they're going to watch Star Trek at the same rate that it came out back in the day. That's kind of interesting. Often something that's forgotten about, show brain rot. It's a good portion of the binging and not putting a device or show down for the day after an episode or two. Yeah, that's like, that's bad, and we forgot about how bad that is just because there's things that are so much worse, you know? Give Victor from Arcane. That's the kind of vibe we're going for. Okay, good. We're on the right path then, I think. The only way to win is not to play, but I'm here yet again. Well, Twitch is fine. Like I watch Twitch. I think Twitch is Twitch and podcasts and that whole thing. Like I think it's fine if you're able to, you know. I'm not live on TikTok right now, Samurai. Come on, bro. I keep getting my TikTok live like access revoked because it says that I'm not streaming long enough. But like last time I did it, I applied for my TikTok access. I streamed for like, you know, it says like you have to stream for like 3 hours in a week, and I streamed for like 15 or whatever that week. And then it's like, oh, you didn't stream enough, dude. The fuck? I can only be live on YouTube and Twitch at the same time now. Very unfortunate. Also, my graphics card wouldn't put up with it if I was doing anything difficult. Like working on a map for Alf. What's up, dude? How you doing, Alf? Why does it keep stop recording? What the fuck, man? Alright, whatever. I have to just check it every so often. Alright, this is our sketch, okay? We're going to label our layer under sketch. Now it's officially done. Now we're ready. Class 1, the delete sketch. Now we're good. Dude, I'm actually enjoying, I'm enjoying the Seekers table more than I did at the beginning. So I find the Seekers table to be so dramatic. Like, in that way that Critical Role is only dramatic, you know? Which I love, but at the same time, man. Delete sketch. It's good, but yeah, I'm enjoying it more now than I did when. Oh wait, line work layer. All right, start to finish. Are you having a mapathon after the Orbathon? That's a great idea. It's like we Orbathon hard enough and I get a new GPU, and then we can do the mapathon. That's what. Well, here's the thing: we need to, like, new GPU is rank 13. That's pretty tough, man. We just hit rank 10 today, so Yuna's been canonized, but man, we're a long ways away from rank 13 on our Orbathon. Looking amazing. Thank you, Nine. I appreciate it. Thanks, dude. That's very kind of you. It was interesting because on this one YouTube channel did this video on this and announced they were no longer going to be putting out short form because after doing this research making the video, they thought it was unethical. Is it unethical to do short form content? I see the argument, but I think you also are able to make that kind of determination from a position of, like, I don't know. I get where they're coming from. But it's like, if I just said that I was never going to do short form again, and I was only going to do long form, then I wouldn't get, like, nearly as many, if any, like, commission requests in the same way. So that's it. Like, you know, you're specifically a science channel dedicated to informing people about this kind of shit. Absolutely 100% yes. Yeah, well, I mean, so here's the argument. So Healthy Gamer, for example, is a channel that I really think does a lot of good, and they do short form videos, and they say that they like so the guy who does the most video, Dr. Kanoja, he does talk about this. He says, like, how he is part of the problem by producing stuff that goes into the algorithm and goes into feeds and whatever. And he talks about or also when he does videos on, like, how to overcome certain problems, that there's, like, this kind of, like, self-help sort of, like, regurgitation, like, cyclical kind of, like, recycling of somebody where they're consuming it as entertainment and not getting better and whatever, and how it's bad. But I remember once that he said that with the kind of stuff that he did, being able to sort of push his sort of, like, message into the algorithm, into the short form, like, you know, pool, does, from his valuation, more good than harm. So I think, especially if you're doing a science channel, you're, like, informing people about that kind of stuff, you know, I think for them, like, it could be, you could make the case that it'd be ethical, especially if they're sort of, like, promoting good ideas and stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know, dude. That's an interesting decision they make for themselves, and I hope they feel like, you know, in tune with their values. So, Daria, thanks for the bits, man. You ran out of bits. Let's see, Seno Beta Compresso. Is that the meta for the day? Is a continuation of the crustacean meta? The meta for the day from Aduria is the Ecuadorian hermit crab. You know what? I might have a hot take here, but I think hermit crabs are great. Some people say that they're failures of crustaceans because they live in other creatures' shells. I don't care, man. I think hermit crabs are adorable. I like them. Look at that little guy. Look at his little eyes, man. He's just chilling. Look at him. He's giving him a little hug, bro. Oh, you can't see. There we go. Look at him, man. There it is, dude. Great meta today, Duria. 9 out of 10. 9.1, I think actually will rate it. 9.1 out of 10. Great crustacean meta. It's so cute. There is, man. These is. Personally, you can get addicted to anything, way too much exposure to it, and there are just certain much more popular things to get targeted, more like video games. Yeah, fair enough. I like the secret staple. Matt is starting to challenge perspective assumption of his character, and it's interesting. I'm starting to not be upset about his dislike towards Thiazi. The pushback on Thiazi was significant on many layers. Thazia. Only badass moments are pretty funny, but the little moments show he wouldn't tolerate. Won't tolerate all the time. I am not enjoying Matt's character. I'm not enjoying Julian. I don't want to have the arc, the lightning arc anymore. I'm so tired of having dislikable main characters. So I'm glad that like the arc is, and I know that in the totality of the story, Julian will probably be an amazing character that I'll love. But man, I hate the process. It's like in Final Fantasy 13, man, I think it was the worst one in the franchise just because I found Lightning so unbelievably unlikable, and I couldn't stand when people said, bro, you gotta give her a chance, she gets really cool. I'm like, I've been playing the game for like 15 hours and she's still an obnoxious bitch. Like why she gotta hate everybody and just be mad all the time? And not even mad in a funny way or whatever, in like a compelling way, just angry, bro. So I'm having a little bit of Lightning like repulsion or whatever from Julian, but I'm glad that we're starting to get the character to, you know, open up a little bit more, and like Matt's a great storyteller, so you know he's gonna tell a great story. I can't wait to like you know, to be in there for that. So Terrestrial Crustration meta was a solid choice. I'm glad it was the return week meta. It's a good one, Adaria. I can always trust you for a banger meta, bro. Part of the study was also taking into account what kind of content was being consumed. Certain people in the study were shown like cute animal videos, others were shown educational shit. The effects on your brain were the same regardless of what the content was. And I'm not saying everyone should stop making short form or that anyone was a bad person for doing so. Yeah, for sure. I thought the outcome of specific video was really interesting. It is. No, it's something I think about a lot, actually. Trying to like make things that are sort of like overall good. You know, but when it comes to things like short form, whatever, like I don't have the same moral judgments on it. So it's one of those things that it's like if people start saying that they want to like not make short form video or whatever, for it's kind of like this sort of came up recently where there is a fitness YouTuber or VTuber TikToker, fitness fit TikToker, and I'm like, I know a bunch of people in the fitness TikTok space, right? Like we all know what just happened to Scotty, and I know Scotty and Mrs. K, and like, and I know Tank and some of those other guys. But there's a guy who made a video basically where he said that more or less that he didn't want to have like a creator code. He's like, he started the video with like, I'm gonna make a lot of other like creators mad, but you know when they say they have a discount code for something, they get paid for that. And it's like, of course they do. That's how referral codes work. You get a discount, they get a kickback. That's the way the economy's worked for forever. And he like kind of made this video, and like I'm not mad at him or whatever, but it is a little annoying. I could be a little critical of it, where, you know, he basically said, I'm not trying to get your money. So if you use my code for this thing, all the money goes to the American Heart Association or some charity or whatever. Cause he's like, cause I don't want your fucking money. And it's like, when somebody says a general statement like that as a creator, there's a lot of like sort of cast judgment that goes around, you know, because then what happens is like it's moralizing the issue. And so somebody else who, let's just say that they are, you know, a single mom doing a fucking hustle, a guy trying to do his content thing to build a life for his family, a kid trying to grow whatever so he can, you know, make the kind of content that he wants to, you know, what, like there's all these stories of people that aren't like this like giant giga 6 million subscriber fucking Andy that makes millions of dollars a month from referral promo codes. There's people who like make a couple $1,000s a month from their sponsorships, and that's like how they make their career. And it's great. They provide a good curation of the sponsorship. They have a code. You as their follower get a discount for whatever thing you're buying, fucking supplements or fucking Cheetos or whatever it is, and they get a kickback from it. And the you know, the system works in a way, and it's not evil or pernicious or whatever. It's just kind of the way it is. But like he says, like, I don't want your money, so if you get this product through my referral code that you get a discount on. So the same mechanical thing is happening. It's gonna go to this foundation. That's basically him saying, I'm choosing to donate all the money I get from this to this thing. And that comes with a lot of like, well, that's great, you're in a position you can do that. But to moralize against the system in general, I think is a little obnoxious. And like, again, I don't have anything hate out for that guy or whatever, but it's just like, so then what happens is people will say, this happened a while ago when charity streaming was really popular on Twitch, right? People would have like, oh, we're doing a big charity stream for this, we're doing a charity stream for that Extra Life and all this other stuff and whatever. And then people would say, hey, are you going to do a charity stream? And you're like, oh yeah, I don't know, maybe. And they'd be like, well, why don't you, wouldn't it be nice if you gifted all or give all your sub revenue from this month to like whatever this giant charity was doing? And you're like, yeah, I wish I could, but like, you know, I don't make enough money to live as it is. So any subs that I get from Twitch, like if that's all you're doing, I kind of need to pay bills and take care of things and buy food for my family and stuff. And then the whole idea of like, if somebody can do that and is in a position to do that, I think that's great. But making statements about moralizing against the entire system and anyone who engages with it is like, then by definition, presumed to be like in the wrong. That's kind of obnoxious. So that's where I feel like sometimes you hear people talk about like, you know, Pokimane saying, I'm not accepting donations anymore on Twitch because I don't want anybody's money. It's like, well, that's great, Pokey. I'm glad you have a portfolio that's in the tens of millions of dollars and you can whatever. Or somebody saying like, I'm not going to make YouTube shorts anymore. It's like, okay, well, like how big is your YouTube channel? You know? And not that this science channel is saying that specifically, but I hear that sometimes where in the last year or so, I've heard creators say things like, I am not making TikToks. I'm not posting TikTok shorts anymore. I'm only posting YouTube compilations because for my like whatever. So it's something you can go to and look for whatever. And, you know, but I'm not going to contribute to or support the platform or this or that or whatever. And it's always kind of like the argument, I always get a little like apprehensive when that like kind of comes up again, because it's always kind of like, what's the like, you got to kind of like brace for impact as like how much the impression changes and shifts for then people to judge you for then still engaging with it, right? Like when Twitch was a big thing, with people being mad at Amazon, and people were like, I can't believe you still stream on Twitch. Are you so you support Amazon's whatever bad things that they're doing? And you're like, no, dude, like that's not how it works, man. You know, just try to fucking make some art and just chill or whatever. So not that I think that anyone who's like talking about like, you know, specifically from like a scientific or educational account is going to start that thing. But I'm always kind of like, ugh, like I always kind of brace for impact when that like topic comes up again, because you know that it's gonna hit at some point, and you know, people are gonna, or like, you know, when people were streaming World of Warcraft video or video game or Blizzard video games, World of Warcraft and that kind of stuff, and you're like this like little peepo World of Warcraft streamer, and people are mad at Blizzard, and so now you have to boycott the thing that you like, you know, make your living on if you're like a small time WoW streamer or whatever. Like, dude, you didn't not supporting the like you said, Faye, ethical consumption type arguments are always really challenging and kind of annoying to have people bring up or whatever, because there's just like, there's no way to win. Then somebody's always gonna be mad at you for whatever you do. Somebody's always gonna be butthurt over it. And like sometimes it's fair and sometimes it's like just ridiculous. There was somebody in my YouTube chat a while ago that was mad that I don't think they spoke very good English, but they were mad that like something about like not hiring other artists if I have too much work or whatever. I don't really understand fully, but it was a whole thing, man. For paying my bills, brother. Exactly, right? We look at it from the beginning. Julian is quite justified since the beginning, but I hope he keeps up the "I'm just better than you" attitude. Do you think? Yeah, I don't know. All right. I'm glad. I'm glad there are people enjoying that story arc out there. I want him to chill out a little bit. Just fucking relax, man. You know, it's all right. You can chill. I do want to save Julian for. I think I want to save Julian Wikander for the last two that I do for the Critical Role fan art series. But I'm enjoying it, man. I'm really enjoying having something to watch every single week. It's nice to like have anything to look forward to, right? Because there's just so much like, I don't know. There's not like any TV shows or movies or anything I've been looking forward to recently, or game releases. I feel like it's been pretty, you know, we were meeting about this yesterday about how I don't play any games that are, you know, remakes of games from 20 years old. Like I realized that the games that I was currently playing was Age of Empires Remastered, Diablo Resurrected, and Pokemon Fire Red. These are all games from fucking 25 years ago, dude. Ugh. I want something new, man. I want something that makes me feel the way Overwatch did when it came out. Right? Unless you're someone who fucks off in the wilderness and grows your own food and build your own house from the materials you source from your property. You have no modern conveniences. Literally everything people do in some way contributes to the corporations. That is cringe. Right. It's like you'll see people complaining about something and it'll say like sent from Twitter from iPhone. You know? And you're like, wow. Man. So you really do support those cobalt slave mines in Africa, hey? Wow, I can't believe you're an Apple supporter. I can't believe you, you know, like all you could do is just try and do your best to like, you know, not impact the world in a bad way. But a lot of the systems are out of your hands. I don't mean that's something that you should just give up on, but like, whenever there is a moralization over that, where somebody's like, I can't believe it. If you drive a Hyundai, you're supporting crypto gambling or whatever, you know? And you're like, but I can't win then. I just bought a Hyundai or whatever it is, you know? Everyone could chill for 2 seconds. It'd be cool, actually. Well, that's what some of my hottest takes that I have, Faye, are that I just don't interface or interact with it. You know, when like a lot, the biggest, most contentious issue that comes up on my streams fairly often is the AI discussion. And my most unpopular opinion on the internet is that I just don't care. I don't care. It doesn't impact me. I've set my career up in a way where I don't need to worry about AI, and there's ways you can set up your career in the same way where you don't have to worry about AI as an artist. Is it cool tech? Yes. Is it unfortunate, you know, and kind of cringe in some ways? Yes. Do I like it? Not really, but like I'm also not sitting here crying over it. And so when somebody basically like comes to my stream to ask me because they want me to be mad at it so they can be mad at it together, and I'm not mad at it because I just don't want to interact. Like I just don't want to spend the energy being mad about something that I can't do anything about, and they get mad at me for not being mad. That's like the way it is, right? People are mad at you for not being mad about the thing that they think that you should be mad about, right? Are you into action RPGs like Neo? My eyes are on that game. Neo, I have not played Neo. No, I do like ARPGs, but Neo is not one that I've really thought about all that much. I've seen people play it a little bit. Aren't they on like 2 or 3 right now or whatever? It's like a Elden Ring type or Souls-like kind of loot goblin game, right? I played TF2. Dude, yes, I'm unfortunately old enough that I have played TF2. That is like a tell me you're an ancient, decrepit old hag, without telling me kind of thing. Yes, I unfortunately am a swamp witch, ancient, decrepit old man. I have played TF2 at LAN cafes. I used to play TF2 in tournaments actually before Overwatch came out. I would do like LAN tournaments in Calgary, like university stuff. I am unfortunately familiar with TF2, and I was so happy to leave it behind and never play it again after Overwatch came out. Overwatch is so good, man. I was such a fan of that game. I want another shooter like that, though. Death Sand. I want another game that makes me feel like Overwatch and TF2 did. You know? They'll either want you to be mad about, or tell them you give them permission to do anything they feel bad about. Yeah, for real, right? It's tough, man. There's so much people want to be mad about that I just don't have the, like, I don't have the time. I don't have the free time to be as mad about everything that we should all be mad about. I got stuff to do, bro. You know? What I've been saying recently and people are like mad about stuff, so I just tell them I'm too pregnant for this shit. Dude, I'm far too pregnant to be worried about this fucking thing. Some people really don't like when I say that. This woman at a convention was like overheard me say that, and she was like, "Excuse you, your wife is pregnant, not you." I'm like, "Ma'am, it's a joke. Ma'am, it's a joke. Whatever trauma you had from your fucking pregnancy, you don't need to put that shit on me. Everyone around me knows the joke. Everyone knows I'm kidding." But I am too pregnant for this shit, bro. I can't deal with it. Human grit always beats AI magic. Yeah, I mean, like, if your goal as an artist is to produce art better than what AI can make, you're gonna lose, right? Like, that's not an argument that I think is good that people try and make. Not that you're trying to make that. I just mean that, like, you know, that's the argument that I hear a lot from people that are kind of coping about it. Like, you know, they'll never be able to produce the kind of art that humans can make. But when I think about like the human quality, I'm thinking about stuff other than the art. So I think you're absolutely right. The human grit is better because there's something real about something made by some like you know what is the dark. You guys want me to go dark mode for a second here, mask off to show you the villainous side of me? You want to hear the really dark, sinister, black-pilled, evil Evan opinion? I can do it, bro. Here's the problem with AI art. AI art is soulless. It doesn't have any quality in it it is technically good and it can make you feel things, but it doesn't possess the transcendent qualities that great art does, where you are being interacted with on a level that is profound and deep in your psyche. But the problem is, and here's my really dark take, I think a lot of human-made art is soulless dribble too. So AI art, sure, it's soulless garbage, but just because a human makes it doesn't make it not soulless garbage. There's a lot of art you see out there, very good, very proficient, very technically skilled artists that produce soulless fucking trash. So it doesn't have to be from a computer making it, right? So when I see AI making soulless trash, to me, I'm not concerned because I've been watching people make soulless trash for the last 20 years on the internet. You know, this is not new. It's just like Walmart opened up in town, bro. You know, you can still go to the real shops and find real stuff, but just because you can buy garbage, you can always buy garbage, and you will always be able to buy garbage. You can buy a really nice set of handmade shoes, or you can buy a trashy pair from, you know, Amazon for $6. Like, that's always been available for art. I don't think that just because now computers are doing it instead of people, that in some ways makes it more of a threat than it was before. So, I don't know, man. You know, that's why I'm not worried. That's why I don't care. I think that you're absolutely right, that it'll never beat the human grit, the human soul. People will always be able to make stuff better than the computers will. Until the point where we have to answer the question, does a computer have a soul? Which we probably will at some point in time. At that point, the conversation will change. But until that day, I'm not worried, man. I'm just chilling. I scroll through ArtStation, man. I scroll through Twitter, and I see a lot of shit that doesn't impress me. I see a lot of stuff that's just done for the algorithm, done for, you know, like to take a shot at at what I'm doing right now. I see a lot of people that make their career on fan art, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with fan artists. I know a lot of fan artists that are very good and add a lot of things. My friend fucking Koi is most well known for her fan art, although she does a lot of really cool original stuff. She's most well known for her fan art, and she does such interesting, unique studies and redesigns and things of existing IPs that I think it's awesome. But when you go and you look for fucking Freerun fan art and you just see an endless deluge of phalanx of mediocrity, I don't see AI being any different than that. That's my dark take, all right? That's my mask off moment. That's how I'm really not concerned about, and why I don't give a shit about AI, is because I don't see it as any worse than the algorithmic bait trash that has occupied the internet for the last fucking decade anyway. But you can't say it online, all right? So we have to delete the VOD. We have to delete the VOD because we can't have the internet finding out. That's my opinion. If they do, then I'll be called out for not supporting artists, human artists. Yep. I'll just be referred to as a trashy Critical Role fan artist, as I'm drawing hot Mr. Taconis today. And stop recording? Thanks. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. That's gonna be Dungeon Dad's next video. The pretentious bard. The true monster was man all along. What a fucking meme, bro. What would you suggest to terrible artists that actually lets actually let one's soul into their work? Okay, there's two parts to that question. And I can answer two versions of that I think neither of them directly answer that question, but both lead you to be able to answer that for yourself. So the first is, you have to make art that you like, that isn't for anybody else. As soon as you start trying to make art that lives up to an expectation or is like somebody else's work, that point in time you are not producing anything new or of value. So here's the issue with that, though. That argument is a spectrum. Okay? On the spectrum of not copy or not making art for anyone else, doing art for yourself, right? The problem is you have people who make the same argument but do it wrong. So you have the modern artists on one side. On one extreme, you have modern art. So you know when people joke about like, oh, this guy like pissed on a towel and then dropped it on the floor in the middle of the exhibit, and that's his art. Oh, this person was like screaming and throwing paint at a wall. That's art. That kind of thing. The problem with that is that it possesses no mastery, no technical skill mastery. Okay? It's accessible. Like, we've all seen the video, the meme of the guy stacking the pails of sand and then he knocks them over and everyone claps as like modern art. You don't want to make art for yourself without skill. If you make art without skill that's for yourself, and under that argument, you're making, like, you're not doing anything. It's like somebody who says my interpretive dance is just as valid as, you know, an Olympic ice skater because I writhe on the floor like a Magikarp. And what does it mean, man? And we can have conversations about the validity of that art. That's fine. I'm not here to fucking yuck anyone's yum if they like to go to modern art exhibits and have that time. Go for it, dog. I don't find any value in that entire field, right? But as you get more and more proficient with your skill, if you still maintain the path of making art for yourself, you will be original. So the problem is you have to do something very difficult. You have to get technically very good at art. There's objectively good art. You have to learn how to paint, draw, and sketch and sculpt classically, not stylistically. Don't learn how to draw anime. Don't learn how to draw comic books. Don't learn how to draw your favorite fucking mangaka or manhwa artist style. Learn how to draw objectively, representationally, classically. Learn how to do this. And that's the problem, is that's a tough ask, because it is way easier to learn how to copy the generic manga like style than it is to learn how to draw classically. Because almost if you can draw and paint and make art properly and classically and you're good at it, you almost have a guarantee for a career, but almost nobody does it because it's extremely difficult. Okay, so when you reach the end here, you get artists that are kind of like your generational talents. So whoever you like, whoever you look up to, your Sam Yangs, your Hayao Miyazakis, your Jamie Jones, Kekako Taki, John Park, all these guys up here learn and get to the point, arrive at the point at mastery. So if you want to make art for yourself, but still be compelling, you have to learn how to do it properly. And that's antithetical, because you hear the term, well, what's properly? What do you mean properly, Evan? If it's for me, is there really a right way of doing it? Yes. When you look at artists, like if you want to look at the American greats or the Dutch masters or whatever, Sargent's a great example for this, because Sargent understood how to represent reality. Now, if you zoom in on Sargent's paintings, the reason why I like to reference him the most is because when you zoom in on a Sargent piece, you see a messy, underworked painting with the fewest amount of brushstrokes to communicate reality. But he had such an understanding of how to add the minimum amount of medium to a canvas and have your brain do the rest of the heavy lifting. That's what it is to be a good artist. A good artist does not draw what is there exactly. A good artist draws or paints enough that your brain will finish the picture. So what you do is you look at a piece of art like this and you squint your eyes. You squint your eyes so you can kind of barely see it. Does it look realistic or not? If yes, you have a master on your hands. If no, then you're whatever, right? And you do this with your own art. This is the idea of a painting. You've heard probably people say a painting should be finished in the first 20%. Yeah, that's true, because if you put a couple of fucking brushstrokes on a page, you should be able to identify that it's a face. That's what we do. We find faces in clouds. We're very good at that as humans. Our brains do that. They do a whole process of things in the back of our mind that we don't understand, right? But we can perceive things without necessarily knowing how to then replicate it. So learning how to properly draw, how to classically paint, classically draw, classically sketch, classically sculpt, to understand how to realistically create the world around you and representationally create something that looks real, that from that point in time, stylization becomes the way that you like to express it. But if you can't do that properly to begin with, you can never stylize. You can never expand out from there. So you have to learn how to draw properly and how to actually master the art without deviating from the algorithms. So without going to the different stylized, without doing your Ghibli style, without going up to this artist over here, but maintain the course and always making art for yourself. That's one of the main ways that you keep the soul in your art, is by never performing art for other people. Never doing never, if somebody held a gun to my head and said, Evan, if you do not get 100,000 followers on TikTok, you're dead by the end of the year, I could do it. I could do it. And I tell you what I'd do. I'd start drawing anime, and I'd start doing that like modern American anime painting style, and I would start doing fan art of characters from shows and things that are you know, popular out there right now. But that's not what I want. It's fucking boring. I think it's fun to do studies like this Critical Role stuff. I do it once a week now. I do a little fan art thing. But if I'm not making my own product, if I'm not making my own story, my own art, that's not why I want to be an artist. And it's boring then. It's not anything that's unique. No one's going to interact with it or support it or whatever once you stop doing the thing that they want to see. So that's like one of the ways that you can keep the soul in your artwork. If you want to hear somebody talk about this in a really profound way, listen to almost any podcast with Rick Rubin talking about this. Rick Rubin's Lex Friedman podcast, Chris Williamson podcast, listening to that guy talk about creativity is really eye-opening. And I mean it, and making something for yourself. The other half of that, though, that like, because that's only one part of that answering that question. The other half of that question is then how to preserve and protect and build a career based on that. And the way that I think that is the only way to do that is to make sure that there's a quality about your art that's intrinsic and interesting beyond the actual quality of the art itself. So if you simply create IP, fan art, designs, whatever, that are popular, and you just make art that's kind of the generic popular Instagram style right now, your career's in a lot of jeopardy because a lot of people are doing the same thing as you. But if you can figure out a way to make art that nobody else is doing, that like, if like for me, I don't compete with anybody because nobody does what I do. Nobody. And so if somebody wants a piece from me, they have to get it from me. They can't generate it. They can't, you know, the reason why I don't compete with AI is because I didn't want to compete with Fiverr. And so beyond that, also, there's an experience of getting art from me that I try to make fun for people. I try and make it interesting. I try and put myself into it, my personality. I'm front facing while I'm doing this. Part of any art project I do are the conversations that I have while I'm doing it, or the commentary I put over the videos while doing it. There's something about my art that I produce that is not just me in my basement doing artwork in the dark and posting on the internet with no hashtags hoping somebody sees it. There's me making a show of it, an entertainment, a product beyond just the art. There's ideas I talk about. So when I talk about storytelling through character design in short form videos, people will say things to me like, hey, I found your coffee and I really want you to do my character for me because we were talking about like how to do character design in this video. And I thought it was really like resonating with me the way you talked about like having their outfit represent their journey thus far, whatever it is. That means that there's something about why they want me to do the art for them that is not just I saw your art and I wanted it. It is I heard you talk about your art. So you have to have people hear you talking about your art, or there has to be something about it, some other quality. There has to be something else about your art that is unique and interesting beyond just the finished image, because you can click, you can type a couple things and get a finished image. So that's like kind of the other part of that, is that you also need to have like some intrinsic quality to you. But what that means is you have to adapt. And so there's a lot of artists out there that say things like I had an artist in my stream a while ago arguing that they didn't want to make videos or stream because they didn't want to ever become a content creator. And they said, I don't want to be a big content creator like you, Evan, and spend most of my time on content. It's like, do you think I spend most of my time on content? Absolutely not. I treat my art, my solo art endeavors as a business. And in any business, if you have people, you need a product department, you need developers, you need marketing. And if you have like a company and you expect your company to work without marketing your product, you don't have a marketing team, you just develop a product and just like wait for people to order it, and you don't get any sales and your company folds, well, no one's fucking surprised. So what you do is you get a marketing team. You buy some fucking computers and put them on a desk, man, and then you hire some nerds to market your shit for you. Great. And so if you have a marketing team that you pay for that doesn't do their job, then you're gonna fucking fire them and get a new one. And for me, making videos and posting my process online is the primary way I market my work. You know? So that's like part of it too, is you have to then create something about your art. So do art that you really want to do, that's like your thing that you want to do, that's you're passionate about. Make it for you. Learn the skills to make that thing as proficient as possible, right? So don't do your fucking, you know, made up Pokemon designs with pencil crayon and, you know, 2 years of YouTube Art Academy. Really take this seriously. Try and get as good as you can proficiently, technically as technically good as you can, to really push your craft in your art the furthest. And then add something onto it. Adapt to the new modern world where you don't just have a patron from the church or nobility, you know, lounging on while they eat expensive fine fruits and watching you paint fresco on the walls of their cathedral. Like, you have to do something, man. You have to market your work. You have to add something to it, add a narrative to it, you know, write stories. Like, one of the best examples of somebody who doesn't do this from video is there's an artist named Evan Amundsen. And he's Dutch, I think. So it's spelled Even, but it's pronounced Evan, I believe. Evan Amundsen, Evan Mel Amundsen. And he did this thing on Instagram about 10 years ago. I don't know if he still does it, where he'd post a piece of art every single day, a character, and then he would have like a giant block of text of the story of that character written in a very peculiar way. That was very interesting. And it's very cool to go see the character and then read the story. That's an amazing way to add some intrinsic quality of value to his artwork beyond just the actual image itself. But he was also extremely good. I mean, the guy's worked for everything from Magic the Gathering to World of Warcraft. So he's very good at what he does. So you got to combine doing stuff that you like with being very good and then adding something else on top of it. And you'll have a career for the rest of your life, you know? Totally. Yeah, what's up, Conk? What's going on, bro? Best examples of art is understand the rules so you can learn to break them. So that's how you come up with style. Yeah, exactly. More or less, that's the required process for it, right? Rather than teaching why I want to get better at my art, it's gone hard for me to think of what I want to make rather than putting my desire to truly communicate to be understood. Mostly want to do concept art to help people design costumes, explore cultures and subcultures people who never existed. Like, I need to do some soul searching. I don't know. That sounds pretty legit to me. Sounds like you got a plan right there. Only thought of the devil's advocate is there's always outliers. For example, Van Gogh didn't think his art was good. No one else at the time did, but he loved trying to capture the beauty he saw. Yeah, I mean, so I'm not a fan of Van Gogh and like the Impressionists, the Monets, and those kind of guys. I'm not a fan of them from a technical standpoint, but there was a certain rebellion that was demanded of artists at the time. Right? So it's like, it's kind of thing where you have to appreciate it and say, yeah, it was good and important and it did pursue something of value at the time. But now in retrospect, it's like really hard for me to like enjoy that kind of work. Like, Van Gogh's not a favorite painter of mine, even close to. I think a lot of people see a lot of stuff in Van Gogh that they are taught to see and not that's actually there. And I also think that there's lots of profound skill in Van Gogh's work that people don't even understand is there. It's like a really mixed bag, you know? There's like some artists like Van Gogh that you can make a case for. There's also artists like Paul Gauguin that I don't think there's any redeeming qualities for. Yet his paintings sell for, you know, millions of dollars, and people will like cope themselves into justifying why it was like, you know, so good or whatever. So, you know, someone like Van Gogh though, like hating his work or whatever. Yeah, that's like a kind of the tortured artist thing. It's tough, man. You know. Didn't tire for his love of it. Sure, I mean, he just did it because he loved it, you know, and while he was alive, he sort of did not reap the rewards of playing within the system. But, you know, posthumously, his reputation is probably the most well-known and greatest artist of all time. So it's like, what's the right valuation of, like, you know what I mean, of the whole thing? It's tough, bro. It's tough to identify what it is you want to do in your art. But I think that if it sounds like it's overcomplicated or whatever, I think the most important thing is if you don't know where to go in art because you don't know what you want to do or you don't know why you're doing it, and you need to, you know, sort of have that whole conversation with yourself. Focus on the fundamentals. Focus on the technical skills. Get as proficient as humanly possible, and then worry about what you're going to do with it. You know, but how much time does everybody spend working on their fundamentals. How much time does everybody spend doing portraiture or anatomy studies or perspective and fucking whatever drills and assignments? A lot of artists who are sort of worried about what they do with their career, almost nothing. Go spend 20 hours a week for 6 months doing nothing but fundamental drills. Nothing but anatomy studies, nothing but light studies, nothing but portraiture painting, nothing but still life drawing. Do that for 6 months. And then we can talk about and worry about, like let's put the existential, questions off down the road a little while. They'll still be there. We can always figure out what we want to do in 6 months. But if we don't know what to do, just practice the one thing that's the hardest skill to master, which is the technical side of it. At the beginning anyway. Make an argument that the creative part of it's much harder to master, but we're not worried about the creative part just yet. We're worried about if we can even technically make it as artists yet. And then we can talk about the creative component. And if you find something that you love so much that you want to do, especially concept artists, that you put off the technical side of things for a while because you're too busy doing your creative work, then that's fine too. But if you don't know what creative work that there is to do, that you want to do, that you can really put off everything else for, then just focus on the fundamentals. Really want to be designing fashion for creatures that don't exist. I mean, fuck yeah. It sounds like you know exactly what you're doing. What I would say is create an ambitious an ambitious project that you can work towards on that everyone's going to say is ridiculous or stupid. Find some kind of way to take that desire, that passion for what you want to do, and turn it into a big life-shaking project that is going to demand the entirety of your soul until the day you die. And then we'll figure out how realistic that project is later. But having a big project, I think, is one of the most beneficial things for you can do as an artist. The problem is a lot of people are used to thinking very, very, you either have arrogance or humility. You don't know how to have confidence and hope. It's like that's one of the things that an art director told me that I really had to think about for a while. And she was like, you're so scared of sounding arrogant that you don't ever risk sounding confident. Because you have a big project for whatever your passion is, and people tell you it's stupid or it's ridiculous, or that how dare you try and do this big thing. So I don't know, man. Whatever that project is, it helps you. The reason why it's good is because it helps you stay focused with what your work is supposed to be. You always know what the next thing is to do. I have no idea what artist block means for a lot of people, but I think a lot of times when you hear artist block, I don't like the term artist block because it doesn't actually mean anything. It's like you're having a hard time making art, but that doesn't mean anything. That could mean 8 different things for 15 different people, and then how many permutations of that are there? An infinite amount, it feels like, among artists. But a lot of times when you hear artists say they have artist block and it looks or sounds something like I don't know what to draw, you need a project. If you have a big project like that, you will never not have things to work on. Make a project so big that you can't possibly ever complete it, that you're gonna torment yourself with stress and anxiety over not completing it for the rest of your life. It's better than being paralyzed with inaction, in my opinion anyway. But I think it's tough. You don't know what to do, just focus on your fundamentals. Focus on getting better. Because most artists out there really, really fucking suck. Me included. And so if all you do is you try and put some time into not sucking as much, that's never time wasted. But it's not fun, so trying to convince yourself to do it is really difficult. Trying to convince yourself is really difficult. You have to go into the tank, man, and it's never fun to improve. It hurts, bro. It's tough. But everyone one of the most hopeful things that I think you can think about art, but also kind of painfully toxic things to say on the internet is being good at art is entirely a choice. If you're bad at art, it's because you've chosen to be bad at it. If you're good at art, it's because you've chosen to be good at it. There are no prodigies. There is no talent. It's all an illusion. You make the choice to be good or bad. There's no situation, there's no circumstance, and there's no condition that anyone on this planet has that means they can't be phenomenally successful as an artist. And when you say that, it's tough because it means that the things that you think that are keeping you away from your like potential don't matter. And that means that you've chosen your inadequacy. But I think that's necessary for your mind to be able to understand, because if you give yourself the responsibility of fixing your own problems, you give yourself the agency to also do it. That's again a very unpopular thing to say on the internet. Whenever you say something along those lines, you always have somebody being like, oh, well, you say that, but like, you know, I got 3 jobs and 5 kids and 2 cats and 4 dogs, and I've got ADHD and I've got, you know, PTSD and 1, 2, 3 PVC. And this is all the reason why I'm not doing art every day. It's like, dog, there's somebody who has your situation, but actually way worse and still does it anyway. Don't give up on yourself. Don't tell yourself that there's a reason that you can't do it, you know? Tell yourself it's hard and tell yourself it's unfair. That's fine. I'm totally fine with some cathartic whining about how unfair it is. I'm down to vent with people, and I'll sit there with people and shake my fist at the sky and curse the heavens with them about how it's so unfair to be in their situation, because it is, and it's valid. But then after we're done that, we have to get up and do the thing anyway. We have to go do the thing anyway. Even once we've decided that it is deeply unfair. But don't tell me that you can't do it. Fuck telling me. Don't tell you can't do it. Holy. Don't say it out loud. You give it too much power if you say that shit. Man, it's tough to be an artist. It's so fucking brutal. But it's doable, yo. And it's really exciting when you do it. And it's worth it. Maybe. I don't know. I'll let you know. True goals be involved in as many world building projects as possible, helping people figure out dominant cultures and subcultures for fantasy creatures with a sci-fi or fantasy. Be brought on as a consultant for like a week or day for people. That's cool. Well, I mean, sure. That's a great ambition. I want to leverage my world building into art so I can truly let people understand my ideas and be recognized as someone who values collaboration in the community. And be known as someone who helps people realize how to represent their world building in 15 different ways in a single character description. I want to inspire people to look at Sherlock Holmes and approach to decoding who people are into how they represent NPCs. Sure. It's fucking sick, dude. That sounds like a great YouTube series. Holy. You should start doing that for big franchises and stuff and making videos on it and whatnot. You do it enough and let people see it, they'll start asking you to do it and offering to pay you to do it. That's how it works, yo. That sounds awesome. Shit, I'd watch that. And if you're proficient enough with your skills and brave enough with your ideas, you'll change the world, yo. It'd be awesome, Tessie. And I get to brag about how I was there. I was there to see the first video, to see the first project. And I'll leech infinite amounts of clout from that. So I appreciate it. That's sick. Alright, Mr. Taconis. Let's draw those gaunt, sunken-in eyes of yours. Draw the eyes of a man who's seen death. Why does he look like my grandpa? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. We'll give him a lot of like deep, dark shadows and stuff around his eyes. Make him look tired, man. Bro doesn't sleep anymore. Bro doesn't even eat food anymore, yo. Bro just kind of exists. Ways it could have been designed, characters represent the world building. That actually does sound fucking cool. Yeah, dude. Actually, in a way when I can start doing it by myself and inspire people to reach out. Yeah. 100%. You know what's awesome is the realization you can just do shit. You know? And like, it's one of those things that everybody knows, but there's a difference between knowledge and understanding. That I think is really interesting. We talk about this a lot in like Buddhism and stuff and like yogic traditions, the difference between knowledge and understanding in what is it? Something in jnana. When you realize you can just do a thing, it's crazy. It's crazy liberating. But it's like, wait, I can just make my RPG, you know? Wait, I can just do art for this thing. Wait, I can just start making videos. I can just go live. It's crazy, dude. It's such an empowering, like, exciting, momentum building thing when you realize that you can just do shit. And then you do it enough and enough and enough, and people start paying you for it, and then you get hired to be that consultant on a big project, and then you've got your first publication, and then you're doing it. And you're the world's foremost expert on whatever it is you're doing. Hell yeah. And you have to start doing it poorly, though. Remember, that's part of the process. That's part of the payment. You have to pay you have to make your payment to the muses. If you want the muses to favor you, you have to make your payment to them. You have to offer them your initial works, and they have to be really shitty. You can make your first YouTube series, and it's has to be really bad. And you have to say, "Here's my first YouTube series. Oh, great and mighty muses! It is terrible. Please enjoy it." And then you get better. Star Wars and Avatar, Last Airbender, which should I do first in your opinion? Well, I'm a Star Wars enjoyer. All right. I find Avatar to be a little too overhyped, but I know that that audience is rabid. So from a marketing standpoint, I think that Avatar is probably a better way to do it. Star Wars nerds are less... Star Wars nerds will entertain that conversation a lot less than Avatar nerds will. So you'll probably have a lot more of a response from Avatar nerds. They'll also be insufferable, but Star Wars, the few Star Wars nerds that are into that will be more insufferable because they'll consider themselves like cultural, you know, professors because they read a fucking essay once on Reddit about the cultural whatever references in some Star Wars thing, and they think that they're an expert on it. So Avatar will probably be more palatable. Avatar is right there. Oh shit, yeah, Faye heard me say that. My bad. Stretching the real, but if you don't know the basics, you will always be wrong. Exactly. Want to be an expert on how to show exposition of culture rather than tell. Yeah, I mean also like how researched are you in this field? I would seriously suggest you you doing some research on like cultural storytelling and stuff like that as well. Like we're talking Joseph Campbell type shit. Seriously recommend you doing some of that as well. And then you can sort of reference the way we talk about culture. But fuck it. Do it. Do it authoritatively. And win the game, bro. Stars is nice because I can actually consult a couple of published experts on it. There you go. I didn't forget you were here, Faye. I would never say anything without the approval of the Senate. I mean, shit. Look, I am too old for Avatar to have had the cultural impact on me that it did on an entire generation, okay? I respect it. I just think it's entirely overhyped. Entirely and remorselessly overhyped. But I respect it. I didn't think Korra was that bad either. You weren't told you just didn't watch it? I did watch it. I've watched Avatar: Last Airbender more than most people, I think, because when Elle and I were younger, we would basically play video games in my bedroom, and we would put, this is before streaming services and stuff were a thing, so we would put a DVD, we'd like pick a DVD box set, whether it was Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, a TV show like Chuck or something like that, or you know, Star Trek or Avatar, and we would like pull out the anthology of it, the full box set, and we would just put it in my PlayStation 2 and we would just like watch it. And so we'd watch like the entirety of Avatar or the entirety of Harry Potter up until however long it was or whatever, you know, and we would just like watch it over and over again, you know. So we would just like I've seen it and it's good, it's great. It's just there is, especially from an artistic standpoint, there is a certain amount of like, you will always love like it's like maturing is understanding that your first generation, that the generation that you played Pokemon at 10 years old is your favorite generation for that reason. You know, people try and make a case for Black and White being the best generation ever because they were 10 years old when it came out, or the people trying to make the case like my age, like boomers in their mid-30s, trying to be like, oh, the Red and Blue games were the best ever because I was born in 1986 and so I was 10 years old when 1996 rolled around, right? Or for me, my favorite generation is Gold and Silver. Guess what? Came out in 1999. I was 9 years old. It hit me at the right time. You know, you're always going to love the thing that you grew up with. You always are. And it doesn't mean it's bad or whatever, but I just think that people try and go too deep on justifying why like Avatar is the greatest piece of media, or whatever the thing is that they had that they loved is the greatest piece of media of all time. Like, sure, it's good, but you know, I'm not out here saying that Avatar, like, you know, possesses some immeasurable quality that nothing else can ever obtain. You know what's funny is like my cousin, who's 15 years old, I think he's 16 now actually, he loves Lord of the Rings, but he actually said to me, we had this conversation, I didn't let slip that I was upset by him, but he said, yeah, I kind of like the Hobbit movies more. And I kind of just want to be like, what the fuck? The Lord of the Rings is the greatest film trilogy of all time. It is. Fuck The Godfather. Lord of the Rings is the greatest film trilogy ever made. It's the greatest cinematic endeavor. Even though I'm more of a Star Wars fan too, I'll still admit objectively that Lord of the Rings is the greatest trilogy of all time. Right? But he's 15. So when I was 13 and Lord of the Rings was in theaters, you know, he was like the right age when The Hobbit came out. It's like, ah, fuck, that's right. That's right. He was at that age, man. You know? I just accept it. I don't have a hate boner for Avatar or anything like that. I'm just kind of meh about it. You know, it's good. Hey, from thumbnails to chat. How's it going? We're chilling. We're chilling, fell. How you doing, bro? I watched Avatar twice. First, it's a typical kid scenario where I could on TV, so all out of order and miss stuff. Then again, as a young adult, love it mostly. Avatar's great. I don't really think any bad like criticisms of it. Do you overwatch it? I don't think so. No, I didn't overwatch it. We're watching it on YTV while playing Pokemon Sapphire on the couch. Oh my god. YTV, bro. I watch so much YTV. I'm old enough to remember The Zone on YTV. I watch The Zone when I got home from school every day. Let's go, dude. Fuck yeah. Just playing Pokemon Fire Red on the couch with the guide on my lap, watching YTV. Let's go. Gen 3, 4, my favorite Gen. I grew up with these. I got to play 1, 2, but only after my brother was done with them, so I was way behind. Only knew them from the anime. Sure, yeah. I personally enjoy Gen. Objectively, I think that I don't think that Generation 1 or 2 are probably objectively the best games, but they're my favorites. Gen 2 is my favorite by a long shot, but a lot of it is also too in the region. My favorite region to play through in is Johto, because I think the storytelling is really great in it. But you know, people grow up with like N as a character or whatever, and they make that attachment. That's great. I hope I make a project one day that people get attached to. That's why so much stuff like so much media out there that's so profoundly loved is made for kids, because you get attached to it, you know. That's why all these like 30-something-year-olds aren't mad at the prequels like the Greybeards are. Compared to the other media at the time, SpongeBob, Angry Beavers, Cat Dog, it was so novel. Yeah, I wasn't really watching cartoons at that point. I think cartoons, Avatar hit like as I was like a teenager, I think. So I watched it independent of a lot of the cartoons, and Avatar was great, you know? It was great. I just think that it's overhyped. I think the appropriate amount of hype for Avatar: The Last Airbender is large, and yet it still gets overhyped. That's my overall take on it. I like it, fan of it. You get people writing fucking essays about how it's the greatest piece of media to ever come out, and you're like, okay, chill. Okay, relax, you know. What's up, Gork? I agree with you, but I do think Avatar is a very solid piece of media on its own merits. I don't think it's flawless by any means, but it executes a lot of things well that most shows fail to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. I think that Avatar is probably one of the best pieces of media. I mean, it defined a generation, art, like especially art style wise. The reason why this American Nickelodeon, like the reason why the American anime Nickelodeon art style is the default, de facto fan art, Critical Role, Instagram art style right now is because of Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is because of them entirely. It's because of those two creators. So you can't understate the artistic influence it's had on like Gen Zs and millennials. But even then, I still think it's overhyped. You know? Even then. That's how grand it is that I'll agree with all the great reasons why people love it. But I think some of the assumptions that it is the most creative, interesting piece of media to ever come out, I think that people need to chill a little bit. You know, that's great, but it's like there's no acknowledgement that there is some amount of nostalgia glasses. Right? Or like watching it at the right age. There's nothing wrong with that there's nothing wrong with saying I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's my favorite show ever because I'm 27. You're like, okay, fair enough, man. You know, I'm not mad at you for that. There's nothing wrong with a person saying that Scarlet and Violet is my favorite Pokemon game ever. And you're like, how old are you? 15? I get it. Yeah, I get it. I understand. That's fair. Reasonable. One surprise from YTV, including 6 of those store shelf display boxes of candy and a portable CD player. What the fuck? Wait, that's actually rad. 96 to turn the big 30 this year. Ooh, congratulations, dude. 30's great. 30s are, I think, the best. I'm cautious because people say that your 40s, 50s, and 60s are your happiest years, your happiest decades. But I think 30s are pretty good. 20s are great, but I think the 30s are pretty rad. I'm definitely like, people like to scare you about it. Ooh, you turned 30. Oh man, 30s are awesome. 30s are fucking rad. And then you get old and start a family like me. We should watch together, Evan. I would love to. I would love to watch it through your eyes, Faye. I would love to be there and hear about you talk about it. You know? And have you tell me why it's the coolest fucking thing ever. I'd be down for that shit. Now the problem is then you have to book the time to watch the entirety of Avatar. I don't know how many episodes that is. Because then you got to watch Korra, then you got to watch the movie, the live action. Oh my god, there's so much to watch, bro. Then you got to watch the new live action. What the fuck? The prequel paradox rises. Exactly, Samurai. Samurai gets it, bro. Yeah. Like the new D&D stuff, the Vox Machina or Mighty Nine. Things mixed bag. In my 40s, some aspects of my life were much happier in my 20s, but then I'm much happier now. Sure, yeah. I will do this with you anytime. Really? Fuck yeah. Okay. Oh, we can just watch the original and that's it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I mean, like if you look at the way that art styles for what is popular come around and evolve, you can see whatever the big piece of like generation defining media is, that art style will be present. Like whatever, if you have in a year span from 20XX to 20X plus 5, right? That's like the year span, like a 5-year year span of time. Whatever piece of media comes out in that time period, that's like the big thing. Among the, let's just say 10 to 20-year-olds. With an average, like the average of 15-year-olds, whatever that thing is, in 10 plus years from this time, will be the de facto art style that people pursue. You can trace this. You can trace this with Avatar. You can trace it with like older anime from the 90s. You can trace this with video games and sort of like the JRPG Final Fantasy style, kind of like you know, early 2000s. You can trace this, give it, I think, probably another 5 years, and you're going to see like the impacts of Demon Slayer. Because right now, Demon Slayer is it. If you are currently 15 years old, you are losing your fucking mind over Demon Slayer, statistically. So the return of anime, of like sort of hard anime, not like soft anime, kind of like the Americanized anime, but like hard, like kind of Japanese comic book anime art styles, is going to be a big thing because that's what people are into, you know? And it's cool to watch that happen because you watch generations finding their art styles, finding their passions. Why projects meant for fucking, you know, greasy old adults like me playing Diablo 2. never really hit, man. It's always the franchises that have some interaction with a teenage audience. People are like learning to dream or still able to dream. I've had so much more contact with my friends and time to do stuff in my 20s, but I was also very lonely, unmedicated. Well, the thing is that as you grow up, you sacrifice your leisure for responsibility and meaning. And that's, I think, something that if you embrace, you have a great time. And if you don't embrace it, you have a bad time. You know, like I've thought about this a lot, Gork, with having children myself now in the next couple months here, becoming a father. The meaning, like I will have a great time if my Qui-Gon Jinn told Anakin Skywalker on Coruscant that your focus determines your outcome. And so if as you grow older, I think you focus on the meaning that comes with added responsibility, I think you have a great time. But if you focus on the reduction of freedom and leisure and that whole thing, I think that you hate it, right? So you hear very different experienced people that talk about becoming parents or growing older or buying a house or getting a fancy job or getting a dog or whatever. And it's the same kind of conversation. It's like people are like, oh my God, I have this dog and I have to like, oh God, I have to like, you know, I can't be out all night because I have to like go home. I have to let them out. I have to like feed them. And if I remind them or whatever, and they want to play and they piss on the carpet. Oh my God, it's the worst thing ever to have a dog. But then you see people who are like really interested, like really into being a pet owner. They like want a dog. They love that little thing that, you know, they embrace the responsibility of it and they get a lot of meaning out of it. I think that's the way it all works in life. So, you know, as you get older, you have a greater opportunity to take on responsibility for things, for the world around you, and get more meaning out of your life. Like when you're 15, it doesn't fucking matter. Like you don't matter when you're 15. You just poofed out of existence. Like who gives a shit? The only thing that matters about you is your potential. Your potential to be anything you want is the thing that then is like, it's why children are so sacred in this sort of like general cultures, because they have the potential to be anything. But at the time, you don't do anything, man. Your parents take care of you, whatever. So you grow up, and if you grow up and you adopt the responsibility and you grow more meaning in your life, you have a great time as you get older. But I think if you just try and stay 15 years old and play World of Warcraft all day and shit like I did for the last fucking 30 years, then you have a bad time. So I'm really trying to, like, with myself, even just move into the responsibility of like parenthood or whatever, and be like, this is gonna be awesome and whatever. And you know, and it is awesome so far, you know, like last night, man, I was just sitting there laying on Ella's belly listening to Baby. You know, I have my hand there and I'm just like, he's just like kicking me in the hand or whatever, saying hi to Papa, and I'm just like listening to him moving around or whatever, because you can do that when you like listen to a pregnant woman's belly. At a certain point you can like hear the baby moving around, and it's like, man, this is great. You know, there's like so much, like this is my little guy, I'm responsible for this little creature, and I can build him up and, you know, make him into a better man than I could ever hope to be. And that's really cool. So no, I think that it is, like you said, it is a mixed bag, but I think if you head first run into the responsibility that you have the access to as you get older, then I think that getting older is awesome. But if that responsibility is forced upon you and you don't want it, then getting older sucks, right? So you have to like figure out how to like maintain the right amount of responsibility for where you are in your life and what you want. And if you just want to chill and play fucking video games for the rest of your life, like that's fucking fine too. What sucks is that if you now find yourself with 3 dogs, 2 ex-wives, 5 home, 8 jobs and whatever, and you're like, fuck, I didn't want any of this, I just want to play video games all day, then that sucks. You know, that fucking sucks, because you didn't have an alignment of what you want in life. You know, not to say that you can't be happy if you don't choose to do all the adult bullshit things, but if you have that stuff thrown at you and you don't get to choose it, then you have a real bad time. But if you choose it, then you have a great time, I think. So I think getting older is great.
Advice from a Canadian artist is sus.
Yeah, you think so? Thanks for bits, Moose. I appreciate it. The orb is right. I'm not even wearing my Team Canada hat today, so you can't even believe me. I think all 3 seasons are a total of 20-ish hours of the show. Only? That's incredibly doable. That's like 2 weeks of like hanging out a couple times a night or a week to watch a couple of hours of that's doable. That's a movie night twice a week for 2 weeks. That's easy. Okay, fair enough, dude. Well, shit. Maybe it's time to jump into it. Talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, you don't need to watch any of the live action. But what about Korra? What about Korra? I do also think that, you know, when I was saying that Avatar: The Last Airbender is overhyped, I do also think at the same time it was simultaneously the greatest piece of media that came out of that generation. Like Nick said, think about the other things that were out at the same time. I do think that it was the best at the time. 100%. This is the best piece of media out there. So it'd be fun to watch it again, give it like a, you know, another pass with somebody like Faye who really like grew up with it and loves it, you know. We start hanging out again. I'm actually so hyped. Dude, I'm like actually though, probably, yeah. I'm down. I'm down, bro. I'm trying to not brood as much. I'm trying to not just sit in the anxiety of work or limbo, and I'm trying to intentionally I have forced myself to suffer through unholy hours because I was a lazy piece of shit for so long and I needed to do that and burn myself out on it. I have forced myself to suffer through that enough that I now need to focus on trying to find time to intentionally like let my mind do things that are not work and play games and watch shows and shit like that and just like absorb the entertainment and culture that I love. And so the idea of like watching through an old series like that all at once and doing it with like a mindset of this is going to be an adventure, that sounds fun to me. That sounds real interesting. I think Korra's passable as a show. It's fine. I think it's like aggressively mediocre because I love the original so much. I feel like the bag was fumbled really hard. There's a great opportunity there. Do we like Dragon Prince? Because I really detested Dragon Prince for like a number of reasons. I really didn't like Dragon Prince. But I wonder if people who were at their appropriate age when Dragon Prince came out loved Dragon Prince. Because like I thought Dragon Prince was incredibly mediocre. I thought Korra was decent, you know, but I also wasn't like I remember thinking to myself when I finished Korra that it wasn't as good as Avatar: Last Airbender, but I wasn't like mad at it like a lot of people were. But I remember Dragon Prince, I watched it and I was like, ooh, is this like how people were felt about Korra? Like they're actually mad? Like I wanted that time back. I don't remember why either. It just was like very much not a thing that I was into when I watched it. And as I said, I don't really remember why. I don't remember why I didn't like it that much. Like the first 2 seasons, but the show really fell off, in my opinion. Never finished it. Oh, well, you know what, actually? So one of the things that I really hated about it was the animation. Not the art style, but the animation quality was really bad. I know a lot of people said like that was problems with like frame rates and bullshit and whatever. It was distractingly bad. I also thought the characters were really like poorly written. Like they weren't interesting to me at all. You know? They didn't have the substance that like the Last Airbender characters had. Or even that I thought the Korra characters have. So, and like that's fine. Maybe it's one of those things where it's like it was written really well for people that age, you know, and I wasn't there, so I just like did not like it. And I'm not willing to become one of those like old people that are just mad at modern culture if it's not made for me. Right? It's like all the people that hate new Pokemon games that are above the age of 15, I think need to chill out. Like if you don't like it, that's fine, but to be mad at it, I think is a little ridiculous. You're mad at Pokemon? Like, I think the idea of a motorcycle Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet is absolutely just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But I also recognize if I was 10, that'd probably be pretty rad. Be like Digimon shit or whatever, you know? I feel that way about food. I figured out at some point recently I'm going to be spending a quarter of my lifetime alive cooking and eating. Well, I should make it into a hobby and have fun with it instead of scavenging what we have around cooking or while hungry every night. Yeah, I really like cooking, actually. I like cooking because I feel like I can take agency over a couple things. You know, like I grew up and like, I mean this with all the love and affection in the world, and like I don't like to shit talk my parents or whatever because like we had it tough, but food growing up in my house was like survival. It was like, you know, the food that we ate that was the most, it was a combination of like the most sort of economic food that we can have, because I did not grow up wealthy or well off or whatever. My parents did an amazing job to make sure my brother and I had a healthy, happy childhood under very bad circumstances and very unlucky circumstances with family and jobs and medical and stuff. So I don't want to like disrespect my parents for it, but like I grew up never really liking food that we had at home. And so I always felt like I could like kind of like learn how to do it and be able to enjoy it and make food that I really thought was like delicious and also healthy, and also take responsibility for my own health, my own life. And like I really get a lot of satisfaction in making good food for Ella, because I feel like I'm taking care of her and now baby as well, you know, making sure she's eating healthy and whatever, making sure that my son has the best opportunity to be healthy, you know. But also like my parents didn't know anything, because like we grew up in the age of like breakfast, like sugary breakfast cereals and the food pyramid saying that you should eat mostly bread every day. It's like they didn't fucking know. But wait, but here's the thing, Salesian. Would Korra as a live action slap? And who would you cast as Korra? Whose portrait today is Octus, actually. We're doing Octus Taconis. Lord Taconis himself. For your viewing pleasure. Might be making him look a little bit younger, but I don't care. Relation with the first season, but yeah, it is tough. So I think a big part of that after Avatar combines really solid character work with world building, and both Dragon Prince and Legend of Korra missed the mark in that regard. What is the main problem with Korra as a character? Why was she so, was it just because she was so like emotionally insufferable and like whiny? Like Aang adopted his responsibility as the Avatar, whereas Korra just kind of like whined about it. Is that like the main thing? From like an archetypical storytelling standpoint, is that why people just like did not like Korra as a character? There's no wrong answers. I'm more curious about opinion, because I think that it's more valuable. Really inconsistent as a character, right? Okay. Like one moment I'm the Avatar, and the next moment, why do I have to be the Avatar? Kind of shit, or was there other? I like Pokemon, but I don't think that it gets enough respect as being the thing that allows FLGS to continue. Oh yeah, right. Pokemon deserves a lot of credit, and also a lot of scrutiny and hate. But I love it, man. I love it. I grew up with it, though, you know? I grew up with a dog. She is as wise and capable or as annoying as cunty as the plot needs her to be, which is something that I fundamentally pissed off of. Yeah, she's like a plot convenient character. I liked, who was the dude? The dude. There's one character from Korra I liked. Let's see, which one did I like? I liked the dude. Let's see. I liked... Okay, fine. Mako. I liked Mako. Yeah. He was cool. I liked Mako. I liked the two brothers, though. They were cool. They're good characters. I like them more than like Korra and that whole thing. I like the guy, you know? The guys were cool. The guys from the thing. Hey, I'm on top of it, alright? I'm on top of it. You know, as I've been writing my little novella thing project that I've been working on quietly in the last couple of months, I've really been thinking about how to write good characters. And I actually think that playing D&D and DMing is actually a really good training tool for learning how to keep characters consistent. Because, like, what do I think good DMs do for NPCs? Like, good NPCs, you don't need to think about how how they respond to the world around them is less important. You don't have to, like, the mental energy required to, like, contemplate how they respond to unknown circumstances. Like, if you create NPCs where it's like, this NPC is going to tell the party this, and then tell them this, and then whatever, and then you go here, and then you go here, and then you go here. But the problem is the party's like, no, we're fucking going this way. Then you as the DM, you're like, oh, I didn't prep for this. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But if you figure out the why of the NPC really well, the why and the mechanics of the why, so there's things like people talk about, like the motivations and things like that of who the NPC is, the why, the mechanics, and the who. I think that it makes the NPC reacting to different circumstances a lot easier. You can improvise any NPC that you've thought about these things well enough about. When you know who the NPC is, you can improvise everything else about them. And this doesn't involve backstory. Backstory is like a nice little spicy thing. Backstory can include this, but a lot of time backstory is the timeline that is the chronology of when they went from, you know, here to the present, right? And the backstory doesn't always include these things, but you don't even need the chronology of what they were doing if you know who they are. And so if you know who an NPC is, you can keep them consistent and make them really compelling, I think, if you figure out who they are and what narratively they're supposed to do. So when I'm writing this, like, this little novella thing, I'm thinking about these NPCs and thinking about their narrative uses and their narrative functions and whatever, while also trying to figure out how to keep them consistent. But it's, sometimes I wonder, like, if you see an NPC or a character in a show or whatever that feels really inconsistent and really, like, poorly thought out, sometimes I wonder if that person should just play some D&D, dog, you know? The show wouldn't have been more interesting if it hadn't been focused on the Avatar and she was instead just a character in it. Yeah. Yeah, like more of a events of the character kind of thing. Yeah, I could see that. I don't know if there's like really good examples of that in media. Are there? Of like the Samwise Gamgee style storytelling? The focus is on somebody else and it's like better that way? I'm gonna go in my brain, but I'm also not thinking all that clearly about it. Clearly, if I can't pull any examples out of my head. What's up, Brooklyn? What's going on, dude? Brooklyn, how formative for you was Avatar: The Last Airbender, if at all? I really enjoyed watching the first 3 seasons of Last Airbender and Korra, but I'm more of simple how I get enjoyment from TV media. OG Avatar definitely had better storyline, and writers knew how they wanted to end, what narrative character development should be. I think Korra unfortunately suffered from, is Nick gonna renew another season? Oh, that brings up a great point. Yes, that was a thing that I remember being frustrated about, where it felt like they never had the confidence or the knowledge to like want it to be, you know? That was something that you reminded me of that. That was also frustration I had with Korra, where it was like they didn't. It's like they were just debating us the entire time. Like I didn't know if, you know what I mean. Of course, by the way, but I think that emotional instability gives her a lot of room to grow over the course of the show. Can't repeat the grief Aang went through. That's true. Yeah, you can't tell the same story over again. You know, it's a different narrative entirely, which is in some ways more complex to try and like articulate. There's more nuance in it. I think media where the protagonist is the side character, like, I think there's got to be some, but I can't think of it offhand. I stopped watching Korra, so I didn't watch the whole thing. That's reasonable. Did you watch the first season of it, Nyx? Like, did you get through the whole season of it? Because I don't remember what happened. Like, I think I liked the first season more, but I think I liked it less and less as the show went on. You know what I mean? Haven't watched it? Fair enough. Completely fair enough. All right. Valid opinion. Valid and useful opinion, in fact, actually. Yep. Reasonable. Yeah, well. Maybe I'll watch Korra after Minari and I watch Last Airbender together. It's like the Shogun movie and Kung Fu Hustle. Kung Fu Hustle is great. I remember I watched Kung Fu Hustle as a UMD on my PlayStation Portable. I watched Kung Fu Hustle for the first time. Right here. Right here. As a PSP UMD movie. I thought it was so cool, man. Being able to watch movies on your PlayStation Portable was like actually one of the coolest things. This was like big tech, you know? The PSP was so fucking cool. You could buy movies for your PSP and watch it on there. Oh my god. That was good shit, bro. That was good shit. I still got a whole bunch of my UMD movies. I still got them. In Big Trouble in Little China, where protagonist's POV character does nothing the whole movie. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. I feel myself devolving to a gremlin. I gotta stop. Yeah, uh-oh. Hold up. We've activated ancient neurons. An ancient program in Faye. Ancient software has been activated. It's like some Warhammer 40k Eldar shit, or an ancient Necron monolith tomb world just turn on. Yuna is canon now. Yes, correct, Nick. Yuna is canon, and I have to make art of her now. You guys have seen it happen. You've done it. The orb rank 10 has been applied. The orb rank 11 is now on the horizon, but I don't think we'll ever rank up to the orb rank 11. I'll never have to play Minesweeper on stream, so I think I'm good. People love it, and I actually have seen the first couple episodes, but it's just didn't grab my attention. Maybe I felt too much like a little kid's show because I tried watching it in my adulthood. That's reasonable. Yeah, 100% reasonable. That's fair. We were talking about earlier, Brooklyn, about how like the formative media is like the thing that was the big thing that you loved when you were 15 years old. You know what I mean? Or like in that age bracket, how it inspires like art styles and, you know, how we like sort of look at things like that. That is entirely reasonable that it didn't quite hit you in the right way at the right time. Because I could see like there's an appreciation I have with some things being older with it, but there's also some things where I'm like, I don't know about this, man. You know, I don't know about this one. It's a bit much for me. I was probably at the right age for this when it came out, but now I don't know if I could get into it. Lurking, painting, you have to wait for it to dry, dude. Just blow on your canvas. See, look, it's dry. Look, you can touch it, and it's yeah. What do you mean, dude? What do you mean? I'm not trying to write a novel in your Twitch chat. Okay, I get it. Next time you're live, I'll ask you to go deep on the topic, okay? Yeah. It doesn't start with the plot until you get into like, I think episode 8 or 9, because my friend had the same issue, kept trying to watch the first 5 episodes, and was just like, I don't know, man. So when I watched it together, I just had a skip ahead to the plot. He was locked in. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, and like you could never blame people for not wanting to put the effort in, you know, or the time in. Like, I think about Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14, I think if you're a JRPG enjoyer, is one of the best JRPGs out there, which is like a weird thing because it's MMO. But as an actual single player story, Final Fantasy 14 is fucking awesome. But the first 2 expansions are a little rough. And even the first expansion is a little rough. The second expansion is better. The third expansion actually gets worse for the first half of it and then gets great. And then the 4th and 5th and whatever are amazing, phenomenal, what the fuck. But the problem is you can't ask somebody to play a game for 100 hours before it gets good. You can tell them, you can promise them that at the end of 100 hours, it'll be great. But it's one of those things, it's like if you say, like, man, this show's great, but it starts off kind of meh. And they're like, yeah, I don't want to give it that time. It's like totally fair, you know? I wouldn't ask somebody to play through the frustrating part of a game or whatever that I found palatable or tolerable, knowing it's kind of like tough. It's like why I'm so resentful against the Final Fantasy 13 bros. Not resentful, I just think it's a funny meme. But the idea that you have to play Final Fantasy 13 for like 20 hours for lightning to become less insufferable seems unreasonable ask to me. Absolutely unreasonable ask. I'm going to play a game and the main character is just the worst person that I just can't stand. I don't want to have to wait for the next, you know, X hours or whatever for it to be good. So I'm always asking what motivates a character in the moment, so more than anything, combine that with their disposition, you get a lot. Totally. Still good in my opinion, but Shadowbringers and Walker were the best part. 100%. And it's like you can't blame somebody if they don't want to go through Realm Reborn and Stormblood and Heaven's Ward just to get to Shadowbringers. But maybe there's a way to like sort of skip ahead, like give the you know, you buy the like expansion skips and you start them at Shadowbringers and you give them like a. But like if you don't get to know the whole thing, then like does Shadowbringers matter if you don't play through the other ones and you don't get attached to the characters? I don't know. Want a baby dragon mold and want to be safe to burn. The candle paint gets too sticky and pulls everything else up. I go back to making technically toxic pieces only for looking at. That's reasonable. But I think being able to burn the candles probably a cool novelty. I don't know, man. I don't know, dog. Episode 7 and 8 of the first season is when the plot begins. So also the Great Divide. Episode 11 is real rough, so you just skip it on rewatches. What happens on episode 11? I'm not informed. I want to open this can of worms. I know what drama I might be starting by asking this, but what's the issue with it? What am I not considering or contemplating with it? I don't remember it at all. I don't remember shit, dude. Oh, is that the episode with the cabbage? The side effects of war. Told the story of a cabbage vendor. Just cringe. Everyone is whining the worst, and it's a filler episode. Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That's a reasonable criticism. Doesn't necessarily impact the product as a whole, but it's kind of like the dialogue or some of the dialogue in like Attack of the Clones or whatever. Doesn't make me hate the prequels, but it's not the strong point. Played A Realm Reborn after they cut a bunch of it, so I actually really liked it. So personally, Salesian, I liked A Realm Reborn more than I liked more than I liked Heaven's Ward. I really liked The Realm Reborn because I like the theme park aspect of experiencing the world. I loved going to Limsa Limins for the first time and hearing the music. I liked playing through all the intro character or intro job quests. I loved doing professions in Final Fantasy XIV. I loved A Realm Reborn a lot. Like, I didn't get the hate for it, but I get that. I understand and respect that people have negative opinion about it, even though I thought Realm Reborn was fantastic. Didn't love Heaven's Ward. It's a little tough, you know, but I didn't hate it. Stormblood, first part of Stormblood, like when you're going around, the stuff in the sea and the stuff with the aura, it's just like, come on, man, let's just get to the actual like invasion, you know. It's just tough. It was annoying. It was dragged on. But like I just wanted to be done with it. But once you actually get into the proper like story for Stormblood, it's actually pretty fun. I don't know. Maybe I'm coping. I just like world building so much. Like, I'll forgive a game with great art and world building for having a bad story. You know what I mean? If I'm like invested in it and feeling the world really well, that to me is like one of my favorite things. It's like there was a couple years ago, maybe like 5 to 10 years ago, there was this big argument about how graphics and art don't matter in a game. And if it has good art or good graphics, that doesn't matter. Now we have all this like pre-rendered fucking textures from, you know, Unreal Engine that makes every game look just the worst. And everyone's like now kind of like, ugh, okay, we miss art styles in games. But for me, it was always the concept art, the art styles, the graphics in a game were always very important to me, because I was like, the visuals of a game were what I kind of do with my career. So I was very interested in that, you know? That made it or broke it for me. I could really love something that had great art and visuals, even if it was a pretty like weak game in a lot of ways, because that kind of thing was important. You know, like Guild Wars 2 was not a great game in my opinion, but the art style was so great that I had a lot of fun playing it for when I did play it. World of Warcraft is so campy, but the world and the concept is so like good in my opinion that it's like, I don't need World of Warcraft to have the greatest story of all time. Smork Clap, Orc Invasion, Grommash Hellscream with Gore Howl, Draenei Paladin, Vindicator Murad, let's go. I don't need all this like crying Anduin and fucking, you know, Are We Still Friends dragon shit. You can have a pretty simple story for me, man. A pretty Warhammer Space Marine story, and I'm happy. You know? Like Ella and I played through Space Marine or 2, and she thought it was the best thing ever. because that was the most fun. Like, the Warhammer was officially sick. It didn't need to be anything else besides what it was, and it was great. We had a lot of fun playing through it. Oh, that cough, man. We were at the hospital yesterday. They like asked Ella, like, and I, like, she was like, do you have any cough? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so one of the like nurses in the labor and delivery, because, you know, if you guys missed it, I ended stream earlier yesterday because I had to take Ella to the hospital because she was feeling really bad. She fucked her back up, actually. And when you injure yourself or slip on ice or get in a car accident or are sick or anything and you're past 12 weeks pregnant and you should go to a doctor or hospital and you're like wondering if you should, that you go straight to labor and delivery. They make sure the baby's okay before anything else. So she was fine. She's not fine. She's in immense amounts of pain. She's miserable. She's dying, but baby was fine. You know, we had to be there for a couple of hours with like monitor on to make sure baby's like heart rate was good. And she had to like, you know, click a button to like measure like movements per hour. So it's fine. It wasn't an issue. It was annoying. It wasn't scary. It was just annoying. Like, oh God, we got to the hospital and precautionary because they do everything. So I had to do that yesterday, right? That's why I ended stream early, which really sucks because I was enjoying doing the orb and I really wanted to finish that piece yesterday. And I got a bunch of big raids and stuff, and it was really fun. And, you know, and Stim stopped by, and Nefra, and it was really, I was like, fuck, man. I was having a great stream, and I was really enjoying myself. But, so I did end stream early for that. So that's where we went yesterday, is hospital. But when we were there, they were like, oh, do you have, like, any new cough or whatever? And I was like, no, we've been sick for the last couple of weeks. We're better, but our cough isn't going away. And they're like, oh yeah, that's going around. Like that's normal. And we're like, oh, it is. Like everyone's got this stupid cough that I'm suffering with. And you feel better, but also worse because it's like, how long is it gonna remain? And they're like, I don't know, we'll fucking see, man. Well, you know, good luck, bro. I'm like, shit. If I have to deal with this cough and constantly trying to hit my mute button on stream for the next little while, it's gonna be annoying. After season 1 was the Equalist arc, season 2 was Spirits Running, 3 was the Red Lotus arc, 4 was the War arc, right? And then that was the end of the Korra series. Okay. Anyone has experience with candle paints? Please help. I wish I did. That's an entirely interesting area that I have nothing for. So, yeah. The art makes or breaks a game for me. I can't play most of those 2D pixel retro sprite games. I absolutely love the Hollow Knight games, which are mechanically pretty similar. Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of, like, one of the reasons why I don't like the Souls games is because, like, anytime I look at, like, sort of the modern kind of, like, Unreal Engine, like, graphics, all of this sort of, like, acidic, white, reflective light bullshit that you get. You know, I picked one of the worst ones, Ghost of Tsushima or Yote. I think are actually pretty good because they have like an actual art direction to them. But you look at like Dark Souls and just a lot of, or Assassin's Creed, a lot of these games that just have, you know, that have this kind of like pre-rendered texture. It's just so boring to me. You know, there's nothing in the color palettes or lighting. It's all in engine. So it's like a bunch of engineers have decided visuals for how modern games are going to look. So if a game doesn't have an art style, this is why World of Warcraft looks so much better than most games that are 25 or whatever years old, 20 years old, because World of Warcraft had a distinct art style and distinct textures and painted and rendered textures. So even if something is old as fuck and these boots are fucking, you know, were made 30 years ago before the game came out, they still look good because they have proper sort of like lighting applied to them. You look at something like Star Wars: The Old Republic, has great concept art, but pre-rendered textures make it look like dated immediately. So a game's art for me is a big seller. Hate being in a hospital so much. It's got such a miserable environment for living humans to exist in. Well, the thing is, it was like not for us yesterday. Like we basically so if anything's wrong and you're pregnant, you go straight to labor and delivery. So the fucking ER line and all that, screw it. You go straight up there. You're like, hey, came here because doctor or said should show up to hospital, whatever. And they're like, okay, great. open the doors to labor delivery. You're in a bed immediately, seeing a doctor within, you know, whatever. The nurses are super nice and accommodating. Hey, sweetheart, do you want any Jello, crackers, cheese, whatever, water, anything? Like, super nice, super sweet, super accommodating, super great. Like just you just got taken the fuck care of, you know? Nothing but great things to say about that department. That's where we're going for actual baby's delivery. So it's actually kind of nice to have been there and seen it, you know, at least a little bit. Know what to expect. I was like practicing the route to drive home because I'm like, next time I drive home, I'm gonna have like a baby in the back. I gotta like know the routes, bro. You know. So no, it was great. I agree. Hospitals fucking suck, but experience yesterday was pretty solid. Pretty legit. Everyone was super nice. Had that for the entire month of December. Coughed so much, I'm pretty sure I had partially collapsed lung. I have been sick on and off for like 2 months now, and I'm about fucking done, or 3 months now, and I'm about done with this shit. I'm about ready to be done with this shit, bro. I've had COVID, I've had the flu, I've had a cold. I've like my playthrough, I finished the COVID patch and I was like, let me get the flu DLC. And then like it was decent, but I could have done without the cold. That sucked. Yeah. That was awful. Sekiro was really good in that regard compared to other Souls games. Yeah, I mean, some of them are better than others, definitely. I don't remember what Sekiro looked like. I think I watched Fishy play for a bit, so yeah. Haven't played in a while because of turn in the story took the wind out of my sails, but Clair Obscur was beautiful visual storytelling, and the character proportions are odd. Clair Obscur, I do have a problem with the art style, I think. In the lighting. I think it's the same problem, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, same problem. So the art style or the art design is very good, but the art style is, or the actual rendered art graphics fucking suck in my opinion. Like all of the white highlighting, the lighting in the engine that they all use, like this is the reason why all these games look the same, is because the way they light it is all in engine. It's all automatic. No one's painting light. So like here's the thing to know about like old like games that had to do this, or why pre-rendered visuals. Did I say pre-rendered? Rendered before. Rendered after pre-rendered. I might have got them mixed up, but you know what I mean. In old World of Warcraft and old games, the reason why it looks so good is because they are painting in the lighting and highlights. You can't change the color of anything on the character because it's all painted by hand to have sort of like convincing lighting. These highlights right here are loosely applied exterior lighting and reflective textures, but for the most part, like even the newer version here, this is the updated version of these shoulders, the lighting and highlights here are all painted in, so you can't just simply change the colors on this because different colors reflect light in a different way. You can't just have light purple on dark purple and change it to light blue on dark blue and it'll look good. No, it's like the warmth and the coolness of colors, it's all intentionally done. That's why old gear still looks good. Why old things, I mean, this is a bit like shiny or whatever, but you get what I mean, right? And a lot of the new versions of like rendered textures in games are all just slapped on as skins and then lit with the engine they're in, and that's why it looks the same and bullshit. That's why for me Clair Obscur doesn't look that great, because these aren't like painted textures. These are textures that have been applied to the 3D model that are like then meant to be lit with the engine. And when you light with the engine, you're gonna get the same lighting as every other game. So that's why they all look the same. That's why it all looks very similar. And you can have great design and concept in here. It's fantastic. It's phenomenal. But, you know, getting great lighting like this is so intentional, but look at the acidic sort of way it's all reflecting on the ground. Baldur's Gate 3 had the same problem. Clair Obscur suffers from it. Assassin's Creed suffers from it. Better art teams can make it less apparent, but you're gonna get the same type of lighting in every single fucking modern game right now, and it's so like, look at the sort of the wet texture in all these rocks, the edge highlighting being just like kind of white, right? It's like, I don't know, man. You wouldn't make a painting like that. So it's a trade-off, you know. The wallet styles changed that much over the past 20 years since the MMO came out. It's been some changes overall, but it's the same for the most part. Yeah, just a refinement of that art style. Silverline that you basically got, or that you basically got to interview the hospital. True. Yeah. No, it was actually, it was annoying, but it was like, okay, you know, wasn't too mad about it. Really not happy that she's like super injured and in the most amount of pain she's been in a long time. Like she is in agony. She fucked up her lower back real bad. But baby's safe. Baby's happy and healthy. Baby's kicking a lot. Like, fuck, man, just sitting there and with my hand on her belly, feeling baby and like my ear pressed up against and listening to baby is just so cool, dude. It's just the coolest thing. And like talking to him and feeling him move like in response once in a while is like really cool. Getting stuck in there for a week wasn't fun, I imagine. I can't, Jesus, man. By day like 3, you'd be ready to about throw yourself out the window. I can see how that makes it look samey. Wait, it doesn't seem like general and less intentional in that shot. There was this underwater sort of place I liked. Wonder if it's like that too. It's just all the rendered lighting from the engine. So, is there anything they can do for Elle and her pain? No. Nope. The only thing that she can do is she is booked in with a doctor to get a nerve block, where they like actually inject you and prevent the nerve from hurting. She has that booked for a month away from now. So, because the doctor that she would go to see it is actually at the Olympics right now. So he's her like physio doctor. We go into town and go to a really fancy fucking like clinic that is attached to the Canadian Olympic program. So you can get in there as a non-athlete, but it's mostly athletes they serve. That's why, like, my physio, because I can get in because Ella's in, I'm kind of where like in the system. My physio that I go to for my hand and wrist, most of his clients are athletes in various levels of Canadian athletics programs, all the way up from Olympians to, you know, high school, whatever, serious, something or another. So they're really good, but also during Olympics, it's just, you just can't see them. So there's nothing she can do. Can't take anything. Tylenol doesn't do shit. Past that, you can't take any big painkillers or whatever without some adverse effect to potentially for baby. So she's just not messing around, man. She's just taking it like a fucking champion and just enduring it for the sake of baby, the sake of safety of her son, and, you know, the future of her family, man. She's just fucking getting it. So, we've seen interviews with the director of K-pop Demon Hunters where they talk about how they painted every frame by hand after it was rendered because of that. She mentioned they had so much trouble with the lighting in the spa scene, particularly because the lighting was, everything was like a flat green. They didn't want main characters to also be flat green. Yeah, I mean, but that's 100%. You get from that, you get something so much better, right? It's why a lot of arts, it's like why a lot of games like Hollow Knight, where everything is pre-rendered backgrounds and stuff like that, painted textures, why it looks so much better, because there's like an intentionality to it. You're painting scenes with the intention of color. I mean, you look at great paintings and the way they use color. I don't know. What's the background painter for Ghibli? What the fuck is her name? I don't remember. But you can go through and look at any shot that is more background focused and less character focused from old Disney or Ghibli. The way lighting is done in here, the use of why are the visuals in Studio Ghibli so beautiful and pleasing? Well, let me tell you without reading this. Fuck off. Stop it. Leave me alone. You see very little, if at all, these like white highlights. You see some desaturation catching just the top of these trees in direct God ray lighting. The same thing happening in here. You see a little bit of that happening here, but for the most part, the lighting has a temperature to it. You have you know, your shadows are cool and depress everything back into the green foliage. Everything that's bright is saturated and warmed up, and so sorry, not just completely saturated. This is very high saturation, but it's about the temperature of the light. Like, this is a very saturated deep blue, you know. This is like a far less saturated mid-tone blue. So these are things that are intentionally done by good artists, that you don't get when you just sort of make the model, put the base shade color of it and just apply light to it. If you can't control the color of your lighting, you can't control the environment, and you get the same look in every game then that uses the same shit, you know? So it's tough. I get it. You're making a whole video game. It's very difficult to light scenes, paint everything out by hand, do it all intentionally. Like, people were mad that you couldn't change the color. Like, this is a perfect example. People were angry about you not being able to change colors of things in World of Warcraft. When you look at, check this out. WoW Midnight Armor tiers. Let me show you exactly what I mean here. For tier 20, let's look at an armor set. This is World of Warcraft for the new expansion. And I'll show you what I mean. What's a good one? Okay, here, Death Knight. So this is the same set. And these are the only colors available here. You've got your cool, like, kind of like icy blue, basic LFR. Then you've got this, like, sort of, you know, colder, you know, calmer version of it. And then you've got this sort of like now contrasting one, a bit brighter. You've got now one that's entirely a different color, or purple. And now you've got the sickly green and then the kind of like dark red. These are not just recolors. An artist had to paint every single one of these. And so they keep the highlights similar, but you'll see the highlights changing a little bit. They paint over probably a trace kind of like highlight whatever guide for themselves. But each color, if you just change the hue of this, if you just take this entire armor set and you grab the hue slider and you start moving it, well, it doesn't really work the same way, hey? Like, the main coloration is like pretty good, but like the highlights don't quite work. So some of them you can kind of line it up and you're like, okay, that's cool. But you can't just sort of like have a color slider that changes everything, you know? You can't just like mess around with that in the same way, because it's gonna like change the underlying colors the entire time. So you have to paint it by hand every single time meticulously. That's why it's so difficult, why it looks so good. But people are like mad. They're like, why can't I pick my color of my armor and just like make a slider? Because the game wouldn't look good if you could. But people don't know that. So it's tough, man. It's real tough. That's why it's art in video games is a dying art skill, whatever. It'll be an interesting challenge as a software engineer to figure out how to make a shader that does that for one of those Unreal style games. It would be very difficult, yeah. I think it's also really difficult to render too. So the computational power and like render time of it would be too massive. So I think part of it is a tech limitation too, where you're because like movies don't look as bad. Movies kind of do that, but they're pre-rendering the movie out. It's like a cutscene, you know? And so doing it like live is like really difficult. Doing it on the like off the cuff while players moving through an environment would be really difficult. But even like the new Pokemon, like I'm playing through Arceus because I was playing through Legends ZA. So I haven't played through Legends Arceus at all. And I just started because she's playing through ZA. So I was like, fuck it, I'll play through Arceus. And I noticed the same thing happening. Where's like an in-game scene? They do a good job in Pokemon of hiding some of it with like time of day where it like changes like background shaders and stuff. Like this is a great way of sort of like doing that a little bit in here. But I noticed there was like anything shiny or reflected, like the rock texture. The rock texture looked fucking awful because it was just that same shiny, like, you know, slider, whatever, white light. Like the time of day stuff they have is pretty good, but it's also very simple sort of shapes. But yeah, the first area, like, look at these rocks, man. You know, they've got like some intentionality built into them. That's intentionally color shifting based on the time of day. But then you got the rest of the texture in here. So that it's like the developers know this. They know it's a problem and they're actively like finding solutions against it. But like, look at the ground over here. All this like flat kind of like white reflective thing, or the water over here, the rock as it goes further back where it doesn't carry the same color. So like this color, they set it up right here. So this color is similar to the color of the background that carries the same sort of like shadows. They make the highlights similar in color to the shadows, which is very smart actually. But then when you get to a point where you can't have these like color changing, you can't load these textures on everything. So you load them on these rocks back here, but you can't load them back here. So it's like further away, it looks great. Close up, it looks great. In the middle ground, it looks pretty ass. You can see that too here. Oh no, well, yeah, it's similar-ish, but definitely better here. So even in a game that I think does it really well, you still see them fighting against this. It's the same kind of issue. And so you have to be more clever in ways that you can kind of like render lighting and color and like trick the eye into thinking. Like you have to work around it. You have to work with it instead of just putting it all down there and hoping it looks good when you just hit the render button or whatever. Imagine the old animation artists, every movement drawn in every frame, then every frame had to be painted. Yeah, there's one of my favorite shots in animation. Ella's like one of her top favorite movies is Pocahontas. So I always fucking love Pocahontas. There's a scene that I really love that I think shows off the animation of this. I won't like play it on stream obviously, but it's the scene where she goes and dives down this cliff. Because that's one continuous painting, right? This is like old school shit. I really, really love like the way old Ghibli and old Disney did this, where they have to paint the entire thing. And they have the frames of the character on vellum layered, so the animation of the character of Pocahontas is happening, of her hair and her posture changing as she's going through the same amount of frames. They're moving the background up, but the background painting is like probably like a 9-foot painting tall. I mean, I don't know how large they were working in scale, but it's a massive painting that you like pan the whole thing down. You like move each frame down as you're going, as you're flipping it through. Like old hand animation is just so like obviously individual character animation like this is super beautiful, but to me, I think like looking at background stuff like this is just super compelling or whatever. So I don't know, man. It's tough. It's a dying art, bro. It's being able to hand paint lighting and stuff in video games and whatnot it's underappreciated when they do it. What's up, Steve? It's good, man. It's chilling, bro. We're doing some Octus Taconis artwork. I actually should, speaking of Ella, I probably should go check on her, actually. I realized I've been live for a couple of hours and I haven't even made sure that she's not, like, broken over, hunched over the couch and desperately needing to go back to the emergency room or something, so I should go get more water and actually go do that real quick. After monologuing about Avatar and bullshit. So the game should make their own lighting engines with color adjustability and variable exposure. In theory, yeah, but I wonder how much of it is a tech limitation. Like, you know, I think it might do it well is I think Genshin and the anime trash games do it well, and I don't know why. Or the not anime trash, gacha trash games. So I'll do some digging in that. But give me a sec. We'll make sure she's still alive, and then we'll keep going on Octus. We Gucci. I definitely forgot to get into the drink, but you know, here we are. Made sure Ella was as comfortable as she can be. Okay. Really wish she could take something for the pain, but you know. Herniated discs, bro. They don't mess around. I see I'm almost 3 hours late. Almost think that I had life outside work and streams. Damn, bro, really? Stevie, you can take the rest of the day off if you want from work. If you want me to like write you like a note, I can. I've written people notes to get out of exams before. I've written a note for somebody to get off work. One of the greatest sort of like moments of my streaming life was there was a guy who worked somewhere. I don't remember what he did. It hasn't been around in a long time, but he'd watch my stream at work, and his boss was also like his direct like manager or whatever, his team lead was also like a D&D player and stuff. So sometimes he'd like sit down and watch my stream with him, like they'd watch my stream together while they were like eating lunch or something like that. And one day I made like a joke about how they should take the day off, or he should take the day off and go see some movie that had just come out or whatever. It might have been the D&D movie or whatever. And I was like, I can write your boss a note if you like. And he's like, my boss is standing right next to me. And I like made a case for why the two of them should take the rest of the day off and go watch the D&D movie or whatever movie it was. And they definitely did that. So, you know,
my God,
like victory.
You're alive.
I am. Doing, what's up, Mel?
Smile.
What's good? I'm doing good. Ella's doing better. I tried to abruptly leave stream to take her to the hospital yesterday. So Mama's in pain, but she is surviving. Baby's healthy and happy, and well, that means my life's pretty good. Baby mama are happy and healthy. So, well, not happy, but what else can I complain about in life then? What else can I want for or ask for? Maybe to draw hot Critical Role characters. Oh wait, we're already there. How you doing, Mel? How was the week of work, bro? How are projects? How are D&D games? Bro, I gotta play some fucking D&D, man. I gotta play some D&D. I gotta do, you know what I should do? I should do some Horizon game run-throughs in Discord. Anybody want to play through Horizon over a couple weeks? Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe the time is now. I'll finally play D&D, my new show, Mendy versus Bendy. Let's go, bro. Alright. I haven't deleted any of my undersketches this entire time, and I'm afraid it's gonna look empty when I do. Let's do it? Oh, shit. Fuck yeah, man. We'll be like those cool D&D influencers that go to Airbnbs and shit.
Has come back in full force.
Ah, shit.
I was happy in Japan pain-free. And just trying to get into a rhythm for work from home since I suddenly have more time. I'm also trying to figure out how to DM more honestly. I like being a player, but I want to run games more smile.
Oh yeah, I loved my interlude playing with Ashy and the JPEGs. I fucking love playing D&D with them as a player. But it made me, Ashley's such a great DM, and I love her to bits. And watching her like just shining as the D&D or DM just made me want to get back into it so much myself. It was so fun playing with her as a player. And made me want to DM again. I like DMing more than I like playing in general. So seeing her popping off, taking us on an adventure was just reminding me how much I wanted to get back into it. You know? But thanks for the 200 bits, Mel. I appreciate it. Sorry I have a migraine. That fucking sucks, bro. Time to go get a nerve block, yo. That shit works. Throw some lidocaine in the back of your head. You're good for a month, man. You're Gucci. If you get migraines enough, might be worth it, yo. Time to get the serious guns out.
With migraines, it is either I laugh or I cry.
Yeah.
Crying isn't an option, D.
I know, right? You just feel awful, but if you do, you just make it worse. You're at hell? Have a great rest of the stream? Ah, shit. Ah, shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for ad hell. Have a good day. Oh shit, Mel.
A tier 1 sub to Saffron Gatto.
Yo.
They have given 76 gift subs in the channel.
Dog, thanks for the gift sub to Saffron. Thanks, Mel. You're saving her from ad hell. Another guild member. Save from the perils of adonomic hell. Imagine being on Twitch and seeing an ad. I don't even know how much I make from ads anymore. It's fucking nothing though. It's not even like Twitch like ruins the viewing experience with ads. It's not even like you can be like, wow, at least Evan's, you know, supporting himself off of the ads. Nope. It's just annoying for no reason. But thank you, Mel. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you. I gotta tell you, what do you gotta tell me, Azalea? Tell me. Excite me. Enthrall me. Change the scene, alter the mood, electrify my day. Tell me of stories of D&D games had, of false hydras slain, of what else? What else?
No problem, buddy. Smile. Nothing like a whole 0.5 cent from the profits of the ad. Holy shit. I'm rich.
How much do I make in ads? Hold on. How much do I make an average a month in ads? Let me see. I'm actually curious because it went down after Twitch forgot how to run ads properly. Let's see. Twitch.tuvalu / Evan Blair Art Analytics. So yesterday I made 43. What the fuck? Yesterday I made 43 cents in ads. The day previous I made $3 in ads.
So last session, my players discovered that the paladin's mentor, the one who trained them,
yes, tell me,
taught them the old codes and sacred oaths of knighthood, was secretly a fallen paladin from the days before the cataclysm.
Ooh.
He was one of the knights who was tasked by the gods to stop it, but he failed due to them turning them back on their divine quest for personal glory.
I like it. Okay. Okay. We got a new arc starting is what you're saying. Alright. Alright, thanks for the bits, Zelia. I appreciate that. Wait, treasure train? One more level unlocks a discount for the rest of the train. Keep going? What? Twitch? You're saying that if we give the treasure train money, we get a discount?
His fall. Then as the
How generous.
With cataclysmic fire, he challenged the player honor or glory. Player answered with honor.
Uh-oh. Did we get a player death? Was it time for player death? Dude, these fucking like sub discounts and treasure trains and stuff. I got an email about it, Twitch asking me if I wanted to like join like their new like badge program where I could like make badges and stuff for like gifted subs and shit. I said absolutely yes.
Then he and the mentor had an epic 1v1 duel that was badass as fuck, as the party fought off reanimated corpses of ancient knights.
Okay. Okay. I feel it. Not so much forgot how to run ads as decided to help itself to a bigger cut. Well, the problem with the Twitch ads in the last couple months has been their getting in trouble with agencies finding out that a lot of their viewers on Twitch were bot accounts. and agencies knowingly viewbotting their streamers so they get a bigger ad cut. So basically fraud. So Twitch ads have had a lot of problem. They've had on an agency and legal level that like we would never hear about publicly. Twitch has been in some miserable time. So yeah. Because like advertisers know that there are a certain amount of there's a certain rate of basically, I forget what the rate's called. Devin Nash has a whole video about it that he made a couple weeks ago. What was the term called for like fake viewers or whatever?
Finally, the mentor turned to the player and melted his own symbol of his pauldron and slammed it against the player's shield.
Okay.
And used cataclysmic fire to weld the symbol there.
Okay. All right. So, no TPK? You got me excited, Azalea. Thanks for our bets, bro. No, sorry. So the term basically for viewership that isn't real or doesn't matter or doesn't count or whatever. I forget what the term is. But Twitch, like YouTube has a rate of like 5 to 7%. So they know that if they show a video to like 100 people, that 5 of them are like bots or whatever. But Twitch had a rate of like somewhere around 25 to 50 on different like, you know, ways of grading it, which was real bad. Real fucking bad. They gotten a lot of heat for it, so I don't know, man.
And in his final breaths, he smiled and expressed his pride. Tasked with the player, to be his legacy, to redeem his honor, and show the world the true oaths of a knight. Before crumbling to ash, his armor clanging against the stone floor of the ancient crypt.
Paladins are cool, man. Wait, so this wasn't traumatic then? Okay, got it. Everybody was having more or less a good time then. In our Diablo fucking crypts. Okay. See, why don't I ever get to have any honor duels in D&D anymore, bro? I gotta play some games, man. I gotta get after it. I'm just sitting here not playing D&D every day. Not testing the Astronite class out. I think Ella's getting a little, she's getting a little impatient, though. She wants to play some Dungeons & Dragons. She's willing to play one-on-one D&D with me. She said she's that desperate. Not that that's desperate. She actually wants to. Like, regardless, so. I think it sounds pretty desperate if you ask me. I want to go on adventures, man, with paladins and crypts and shit like Azalea. It's pretty close. The party's almost TPK'd and the paladin almost fell. He was at 1 HP and the end of the fight he only survived because his mentor's aura was reducing the damage he took. Oh, that's cute. I like that. That's some Vindicator Murad. Saving Urel kind of shit right there. Valentine's modules. Wait, so tomorrow's Valentine's Day, right? Because it's Friday the 13th. Oh my god. We're only March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. We're only 8 months away from Faye's birthday. Tomorrow's the 14th, right? Now, Ella, every year, she makes me chocolates on Valentine's Day. Okay? And then for White Day on March 14th, I buy her something fancy that's white, right? Like you get diamonds or white chocolate or things like that, you know? But I guess Ella's too injured to make me anything for Valentine's Day. So I guess she's not getting shit for White Day. I guess she's getting nothing but fucking coal. Because as she fails her wifely duties, I will not reward injury, inadequacy masked as injury. Very Japanese, yeah, more or less. Yeah, we don't do like white American Valentine's Day where we go out for like dinner and shit. We don't buy flowers and whatnot. We do Japanese Valentine's. We were the first time we ever went to Japan together. We were in Japan just before Valentine's, and so all the like department stores had their like, you know, chocolate displays out and their fancy whatever, little boutique-y confectionaries and whatnot. It was cute. We liked it. We liked the tradition a lot more. We've always done Valentine's Day and White Day instead of like dinner date Valentine's Day type things. It's just too busy, man. Too obnoxious. Either they were enemies in that moment, and when it came to the fate of the world, his mentor still saw him as a friend and an ally. That's nice, man. I like that. Brutal? I know. Salesian, listen. What am I supposed to do? Disrespect the sanctity of Valentine's Day and White Day? Allowing inadequacy and failure to still be rewarded? What lesson is that going to teach my son? That second place matters? That silver medalists should smile? That if you're not first, you're last? There's something in between? What? What are you talking about? That effort matters? Well, I don't want to teach my boy any kind of you know, harmful lessons like that. So got to start living it. You can microwave the melts for her. Yeah, I should just help her make it. Get some silicone molds and microwave it. She can give it to me. Well, to be fair, we do have fancy like fancy chocolate chips from Christmas baking. So she could, in theory, I guess, just microwave it in a fucking ramekin and give me a oddly shaped chocolate. And then I have to reciprocate on White Day. Or reciprocate on White Day by buying her a bag of Jet Puff marshmallow. What the fuck is the, like, jarred marshmallow called? The Americans fucking love. That shit's like, you get like protein powder that's like Jet Puff flavor and shit. Fluff? Oh, it's just called Fluff? Okay, yeah. He's making you a son for Valentine's? Bro. Whatever. Like, how much effort does that take? How much creativity? Ooh, I'm making a human life. Like, whatever, bro. You tried making a D&D character? You tried making a perfect Pokemon team for a Diamond and Pearl playthrough? Let's talk about effort here for a minute, okay? Like, our quality standards for making people are clearly not that high. You've been on Reddit before, right? Americans love it. I was in the desert when we were 5. Really? Shit. It was a dessert. All right. I think Canadians fucking love it too. I just like have a lot of American friends that put it on top of things at Thanksgiving. I still can't handle the Jet Puff fluff on top of sweet potatoes for like dinners and stuff like that. The overwhelming sweetness. I love it. It's one of those like parts of American like food culture that I fucking love. I can't necessarily get behind it, but I want to. I want to, man. That's right. Every single American citizen loves marshmallow fluff. Not a single one doesn't like it. Just like how every Canadian can be at any point in time found with a Tim Hortons coffee and poutine in their hand. No exceptions. 0 outs. You ate that shit? Well, I don't know, man. I don't know how to help you. So we gotta figure it out then. We gotta figure out something to do. We gotta help Azalea. Quick, someone get her some inferior Kansas City barbecue and Mr. Pibb. I'll restart that juice. Tim Hortons coffee, the worst in the land. Yeah, I'm not much of a coffee person, so I don't have a dog in this race. I'm overall just disappointed with Tim Hortons. Like, I gave up on Tim Hortons donuts this year, or like in the last year, where I said I'm just not doing it anymore. It's just not worth it, bro. Tim Hortons donuts are just never worth it. There's so many good places to get a donut now, I just can't handle how bad Tim's is. I like that Tim's exists as like a cultural reference to the old Canadiana. I like that it still has that, but it's kind of like a simulacrum rather than an actual like experiential thing that you go do. You know what I mean? Just only has one set of earrings, right? On his, yeah, on his right ear. Mr. Taconis. Dunkin' Donuts are far worse. Are they? I've never had Dunkin'. Ever. Never had Dunkin'. You know, they opened up a Krispy Kreme in Calgary. I went there once. It was good shit, bro. Good shit. I was like, man, why can't all of our donuts be just glazed first? Why do we have to get donuts wrong in Canada, bro? Like, what do we do? How come we can't, It's upsetting. I think the only really like Canadian, like the replacement for Canadian coffee, I don't think you guys have it in America, but it's called Second Cup. It's like Canadian Starbucks. It's like kind of in between Tim Hortons and Starbucks. Kind of. It's like closer to Starbucks than it is Tim Hortons, but it's like less fancy Starbucks, but it's not like blue collar like Tim Hortons is or anything, you know? You can get it. I have Uber Eats and can get chocolate for an incredibly ridiculous cost. Please do not buy incredibly expensive chocolate. What if she designed and caught a Pokemon team for you? That would be kind of rad, and she can do it while resting. That's true, but that's also a lot of effort, you know? People go crazy for Dunkin' here, and I never understood that coffee is gross. Well, like, isn't... Don't they have drinks that are over 1,000 calories? Isn't Dunkin' known for that shit? Yeah, a large triple mocha frozen coffee is 1,100 calories. With 40 grams of fat, who cares, and 178 grams of carbs. Highly sweetened with about 160 grams of added sugar. That's intense, bro. That's dude, what? Like, that's freedom right there. What's up? Yes. Uh-huh. Krispy Kreme has a glazed donut flavoring for their coffee. Their coffee's decent. Okay. It's better than Tim Hortons. Damn. Who's better coffee than Tim's? McDonald's better coffee than Tim's? Slanderous. Canadian Wise A&W. Are you old enough to have that opinion? Because I thought that you weren't allowed to like A&W coffee unless you were at least 74. I don't know. Like part of like how Canadians manage to get free healthcare is we actually don't have establishments that are paid for by the government for our seniors care. We don't put our old peoples in homes. We put our seniors in A&Ws and Swiss chalets. That's where we house our elderly. Depends on the time of day. You know, from like 6:30 to noon, it's A&W's, and from noon to 4:30 p.m. it's Swiss Chalet, and then they go to bed. So you know, kind of works out. It's Fritter Friday at the coffee shop. That was on my way home. Can't even really complain about fritters when they're fresh. There you go. Fucking let's get it, bro. That's what I like to hear. Hell yeah. Wawa has the best fast food type coffee. What is a Wawa? What in the Shiver Me Timbers EU is a Wawa? Is this some chain out there? I must know. I'm intrigued now. As long as you can add as much sugar as you want, but still taste bad. You can wait. Can you change what? How much sugar can you add? Wait, you can customize the amount of sugar you can add to your Dunkin' Donuts. Is it? So it can be more than 1,100 calories for a large mocha? Is that a thing? Bro, I live in the wrong country. Holy. Imagine living in a place where you can have the freedom to have your coffee as sweet as you want. Coffee flavored sugar paste. Let's go. I'd probably drink it at that point in time. I'm not a coffee guy. I don't understand why I'm not a coffee guy either. I've tried multiple times in my life to like coffee and I just can't. I just don't. I don't know why. It's not even the bitterness. Like I don't mind things like whiskey or beer or tea or whatever. There's just something about coffee, bro. I keep trying good coffee, bad coffee. I just can't like it, you know? I like the odd one out. And I'm doing something wrong, hey? What was an East Coast, Southeast U.S. convenience store chain? Oh, well. Shows what I know, man. I'm new. It's my first day. Regional U.S. Coast chain. Imagine Tim Hortons and 7-Eleven and a good sandwich shop in a gas station convenience store. On a scale from Esso to Buc-ee's, what are we talking about here? Right? Because, like, if I'm going to go to America at any point in time, I want to go to a Buc-ee's. And I want to go to the hotel, the Bass Pro Shop Hotel. Oh my god, dude. Look at that. Look at that majestic, noble little shit. Look at him. Holy. Buc-ee's, Gork, are Costco-sized gas stations in Texas. This is an entire gas station right here. Pumps all up and down, and then a fucking super center inside where you can get like barbecue and any kind of refreshment and snack imaginable. This is freedom right here. This is liberty. This is when they rallied, when George Washington rallied the troops to cross the Delaware to go liberate or whatever they did that day. I don't know. That's what he told. That's what he promised them. Benjamin Franklin or John Smith or somebody said something about planting trees that you will never get to enjoy. That's why they did it. They did it so one day there'd be a convenience store, gas station so large one could spend the entire day in there and not get kicked out because you wouldn't see two employees more than once. Walmart compared to convenience stores, yeah. Buc-ee's in a lot of states now. Really? Maybe we can get our first Canadian Buc-ee's. You know? That'd be dope. Thought there's a picture of Buc-ee and the stuffed Buc-ee. That's so cute. I love that, man. They put one in my county, but residents kept fighting for some reason. There's more traffic. Oh, what? But think about how convenient it could be. Think about how convenient having a Buc-ee's right there could be for you. You could go get brisket and shit. I don't know. Short-sighted, if you ask me. Short-sighted. What was that big, like a slightly bigger 7-Eleven with food that's actually edible? Really? My friend Yavuz once ate some 7-Eleven taquitos and didn't die. That was cool. I mean, as far as I'm considered, it's food safe at this point. Gas station food, man. Nothing compares to convenience store food in Japan, bro. Convenience store food in Japan is how I survive a lot of trips over there. You can eat super good foods for like a decent price. It's really healthy. You can also eat family chicken the entire time and gain weight in Japan somehow. Somehow. Okay. We gotta do our dark shade for his hair pretty quick, or else I'm gonna keep doing shadows that don't need to be there. Beaver nuggets for breakfast? Hell yeah. Someone's thinking of making the food in the US more like Japan. That would be good. Like, if you've never been to Japan, home beanie food. Dude, you can get everything there, man. They have hot food that's actually good, pork buns and fried chicken. They have daily like noodle bowls and salads. Yo, you like everything there is so fresh. Onigiris, like you can actually eat super healthy at 7-Eleven Japan. Chicken katsu sandwich, yo. Anybody? You can get like all kinds of snacks and shit, but like, dude, this is where it's at. The onigiri and sushi and stuff. That's where you get it, man. That's what you do. But to be honest, everyone has their... So you have to pick an allegiance in Japan. So you can either be a 7-Eleven enjoyer, a Family Mart enjoyer, or my personal favorite, Lawson's. Okay? The reason I like Lawson's the most is because they have a better selection of weird shit. Family Mart is the old reliable. Okay? Family Mart's great. They also have collaborations with Gundams. Okay?
Family Mart was so nice.
Did you get Family Mart socks while you're there? You can get... Look, let's check this shit out. So you can get... Oh, no, this is 7-Eleven. So 7-Eleven and Family Mart both have Gundam. Like, you can get little miniature Family Mart models. But the 7-Eleven Family Mart Gundams, these are rare and sought after. I forgot 7-Eleven did it. Family Mart has one too, but Lawson's is it, man. Lawson's is the one for me. Lawson's is the place. That's my that's mine right there. The blue sigil with milk bottle from Hokkaido. They know what's up, dude. There's also one that's in Hokkaido or Okinawa specifically.
There was a Family Mart across the street from my hotel and I ate so many
oh, dude.
apples. They
dude.
were peeled and cut into pieces.
Bro.
Perfection.
Bro, with the lemon juice? Yeah. Family Mart socks are like a thing. You have, if you go to Japan, you go to Family Mart, you have to come back with a pair of socks. I don't know why, but it's like a tradition. Every time we go to Nippon, we always get, or Ella always gets some Family Mart socks. I don't know why, man. They're just iconic. They're like a rite of passage or whatever. It's like a confirmation that you went on your trip. So, and then obviously Family Chicken. So, or well, Family Chiki, which is I think the best of the convenience store fried chicken cutlets. Listen, this is important stuff, man. You gotta have your priorities in order when you're going to Japan. What's up? Are they losing? Can't be speeding? Really? How badly? Oh, okay. All right. I wonder if Philip Forsberg is going to score. We'll have to see.
The fried chicken was so good.
Oh yeah,
I thought
dude.
my stomach would get upset from it and nothing happened. Some of the most juicy chicken I have ever had.
That's good shit, dog. Like, yeah, man. That's not a bit smell. I appreciate it. It's good shit, yo. No, so my food strategy in Japan when we go out is to eat at 3 tiers of the day. So for breakfast is always like, maybe for Elle and I to eat both, it's like $10 at Konbini. And then for lunch, it is like maybe for us to both eat, it's like $30. And we do either local shop or chain. So this is like curry or like Ishiran or whatever. Something like that. And then dinner, you have your budget. Like if you have $100 a day for food, which is like not unreasonable, you know, then you've got like, you can go somewhere for like $60, yo. And that gets you a lot in Japan. Restaurants are reasonably priced there. You can go out for like a legit ass meal somewhere at like, you know, some kind of izakaya or a real restaurant or whatever. It's good, man. You always go Konbini.
Sadly, the food wasn't
called
good,
what?
But at least it is on the bucket list.
Yeah. That's a newer place. Yes, that's a bit of a newer place. So eggs, Egg Slut is my second favorite named restaurant in Japan. The first one is a question. I'm donut. Like, you can't say it as a statement. You have to say it as a question, because there's a question mark. And I don't know why. I've never heard a Japanese person say it. They always refer it as just like donut. But they also call Mr. Donut donut. So you can go to I'm Donut and maybe get a donut. That. I don't know.
I wanted a donut.
We don't know, to be honest.
Said no XD.
What? You didn't get a donut from a question? Their donuts look good. They do Taiwanese or Korean style cream filled donuts, so they're dope. But I just enjoy the fact that, like, we don't put question marks after store names here, and we should. We really should. You know, like McDonald's. Like, you don't know. You have to go in and eat there, right? I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. It's good. It's better than Doutour. It's like Detour, but it's donut. So it's Doutour. So you can choose between Mr. Donut, Doutour, or I'm Donut, and get a very different experience. So that and Egg Slut, yeah, good establishments right there.
Honestly, the trip was more for the beach than for me. We went to an izakaya
Really?
for a more traditional breakfast.
That's cute.
Some of the best food I have ever had, and the BF wanted a mix of modern and traditional Japanese food.
Okay.
That place was also fun to go to.
Yeah, izakayas are great like that. If you want the most traditional breakfast in Japan, you have to go to Ryokan. Did you stay at a Ryokan at all? That's a great night or two. Even in a you don't even have to go to Hot Springs Town or whatever. There's like great ryokan inside of Tokyo. That's where you go to get a real breakfast and also a real proper like traditional Japanese meal. Because like a lot of foods people consider to be traditional Japanese aren't. So like people say, oh, my favorite Japanese food is ramen or tonkatsu or whatever, or tempura, and these aren't necessarily traditional foods. Like, you don't get traditional Japanese food unless you go for what is it? Keiseki. Kiseki, yeah. Yeah, that's the traditional shit. It's usually really expensive and it's like a ton of courses, but you go for like proper like Kiseki meal. You get like all the real old school shit.
We stayed at a place called a Sunset Hotel chain.
It's pretty good.
A very reasonable priced place to stay.
Oh yeah, dude.
But that is the plan next time we go because I will be better at speaking next time. Smile.
Just remember, if you're going to Ryokon, don't stay there more than a night. Maybe 2, but 1 night usually. Stay to second Ryokon for the another night if you're like in a hot springs town or whatever. It's real weird. Real fucking weird if you stay at a Ryokon for more than 1 or 2 nights. But that's where you go to get the real food. It's expensive for a proper Kiseki meal, but you get to try all kinds of disgusting shit you don't want. Like jellied seaweed and egg custard. I know you can get egg custard everywhere, but I still hate it. Fucking rancid ass weird texture bullshit. It takes a lot, man, for me to not like something. Jellied seaweed is one of those.
And Evan, I had some of the best fish ever. The tuna,
I know, right?
Even at the cheap place, was some of the best fish I have ever had.
Oh yeah, dude. Dude, I tell you, every single time I go to Japan, if we're stopping in Tokyo, I go to like the touristy part of Tsukiji and I get a tuna meal for 2. That's usually like 40 or 50 bucks. But here it would be close to 200 or 300. And it's better. It's just, if you spent 300 bucks on tuna here, it wouldn't be as good as that shit there. Telling you, man. Good time, bro. Glad you had fun. Glad the BF enjoyed it too. I know you're more of a Portuguese traveler. And an Iberia enjoyer. But glad you got to go to Japan, have fun.
We ended up going to a 1 Michelin star restaurant one night and only paid $60 for 2 people. $60, Evan. It is nuts.
Yeah, well that's partly part of the tradition of food there. So what's interesting is like if you have something that is like you have any item of food, right? And whatever that item of food is, it's like generic food. Right? So in NA, it'll be like Italian. But in Japan, it'll be like a specific item. So it'll be like ramen. Right? And that's all they sell. They might do some other stuff like gyoza and whatever, but it's like you go there for ramen. You go to a restaurant in Japan for a specific thing. But also, culturally, a bowl of ramen shouldn't be more than like 1,500 yen. Right? So what will happen is if as ramen increases, or as food in NA increases, it's like the graph of like quality versus cost. So if you want better Italian food, you are going to pay more as you get better. But in Japan, there's like a cap. The idea of like ramen exceeding a certain quality or a certain costs like statement here would be ridiculous. You know, the only time you pay for very expensive food in Japan is if the ingredients are expensive, if you're buying very expensive sushi, things like that. So you can go to like the best ramen shop and its cost will stay the same, but what goes up in Japan, their graph is quality versus wait time. Because people will be willing to wait like several hours or whatever. So you'll never go above the cost grid, graph, whatever, but you will wait for a large, you know, amount of time before you get in. But it means that you can get in to places that are like the best whatever in that city in Japan or whatever, without having to pay more, because it would be seen as arrogant and disrespectful to try and charge more for your product. This happens across also with a lot of Japanese like craftsmen and stuff like that, where their product it'll increase in value or in cost as the quality increases if you're the best ceramics maker or whatever in Japan. But there's a certain amount of like time spent. So it's like if you buy some ceramic fucking bowl or whatever, some like lacquer bowl, you buy a lacquer bowl that like is like hand painted and shit. You're paying because the more expensive bowl is more expensive, not because of the brand on it, but because the more expensive bowl took like 20 hours to paint and make instead of like 3, right? Because there's an assumption of like, well, you can't eat, like if you are an artist, for example, and you do character portraits or whatever of D&D characters, the idea of paying more than $25 for a character portrait would be absurd. And so if you charge $120, people are like, wow, arrogant asshole, fuck you, you know? So in NA, what we do is we increase the price of something as the demand increases, because that's how we value things. And so it locks people out of, like, people who can't afford the higher price point. It locks them out of experiencing the thing. But for a lot of things in Japan, especially around food culture, it is almost entirely based around like wait time, accessibility, things like that. Like, you could charge $50 for your ramen instead of 10, and you'd get 4 customers instead of, you know, whatever. So or instead of 20, so you still make $200 that day. But the way that they usually do it is it would be seen as like, who the fuck do you think you are charging $50 a bowl for ramen? Whereas here, yeah, if there's a demand, they're just going to keep increasing the price until the demand and supply even out, and you can match with it. So food culture is really cool over there, like that, for that, you know.
We ended up going to Din Tai Fung's location in Shibuya as well, and
Tahoe?
such a high-end restaurant. It was only $50 for 2 people, and we only waited for 5 minutes because they had such a huge location.
Oh, fuck yeah.
People were also pretty quick in and out for eating. For a lot of the
That,
people there,
yeah.
it was just a local spot to eat, as opposed to the BF&I, where it is a cultural hub we wanted to
Sure,
visit.
yeah. That's awesome. I mean, that is also part of food culture. There is like, there is a sense of you're supposed to enjoy, like if you are going for a multiple course like kiseki meal like this, it's going to take you hours to eat it, right? You're at some fancy ryokan, they're serving you course by course, meal by meal. You eat so much food over a 3-hour period. It's unreal. But for a lot of places, if you're going for like a bowl of ramen somewhere, it's like you're not there to socialize and whatever. You're there to eat the food, experience it, like, in your own. You're not there to talk about. It's not a communal thing. You're there to focus on the food, to focus on the bowl of ramen. You're not looking around. You're not reading something. You're not on your phone. You're not talking with the person next to you. This is why Ishiran, in some ways, is like the ramen booth place that people like. Ella really likes Ishiran. There's like, part of it is the idea of you don't have to be social. You go to Ishiran, you sit in a booth, you just eat your ramen. But part of it also is focusing on the food.
You should try Din Tai Fung if you get the chance to. I don't know if there are spots in Canada. Evan smiled.
Oh, wait, is this the place in the mall? No, it isn't. Okay. First Canadian location opening in Vancouver in 2025. Yeah. I probably would be able to eat it anyway, because like I can't eat almost any Chinese, Mongolian, Northern Chinese, Taiwanese food. I can't eat any sort of food in there because I can't eat onions and garlic, right? Or anything spicy. So I'm fucked. I'm fucked, dude. You know? A lot of Japanese food I can eat because it's like soy sauce, mirin, sugar, bonito, like flavors that don't upset me. But Chinese and Korean and Taiwanese and Mongolian and Northern Chinese and Vietnamese, like, I am fucked. I can't eat any of it, which sucks. So I miss Korean food real bad, bro. Real bad. I want it, man. You got no idea. I never paid for experience. It's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The price got a cap out, and the sandwich maker isn't going to charge $100 for it. Right? Yeah, it would be. You would be like an arrogant weirdo for trying to charge that much for peanut butter and jelly. Exactly. That's kind of the way it is there.
The
so
story is the family who owns it used to sell kitchenware and cooking oil to restaurants in Taiwan.
Oh, really?
They went
That's
to
cool.
Just oil when people began to just go for their oil rather than their kitchenware.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Eventually, restaurants asked how they best cook with their oil, and they began to make food as a result of the demand.
I love that
Then
kind
the
of
rest
origin story.
is history. Smile.
That's really cool. I like that kind of, you know, that evolution or whatever. Okay, I got to take Yuna to a vet appointment because Ella was supposed to do it, but she decided to aggravate her multiple herniated discs in her spine. Bitch. So I got to go take my dog to the vet for that. That's where we're ending it today. I will deliver Puppy safely to her appointment while Ella stays in bed and rests and gets the shit kicked out of her by baby. So I'll see you guys next week, not on Monday or Tuesday, because Monday, Tuesday, I'm getting carpets done here. So Wednesday, when I'm back from stream, expect chaos. Like, look at this right now. It's kind of messy. There's stuff like on the floor over there, and there's like Lego there and shit. Next Tuesday or Wednesday, it could just be me in an empty room. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's going to be something to look at, like, at the very least. So I'll be doing that on my own, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you for all the support this week. It was fun being back for streams, and I will see you next time. All right. Peace, guys. See ya.